Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Philly Phone Book, a podcast archive. I am your host, Gideon Carroll McDonald, and with me today is a lovely actor here in Philly, a good friend of mine. You may have seen him in Rent, at the Arden most recently. We have Michael Jahlil. Woo!
Yay!
How you doing?
I'm well. I am well. Yeah.
Yay.
Yes.
Thanks for doing this.
I thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And for real, I really, really appreciate this. I don't usually get a chance for people to let me yap. So
I want to hear you yap as often as you'd like. That's what this is for.
Yes.
We get to yap.
Yes.
And people get to listen to us yap.
Yes. Yes.
So yay. Well, thanks for being here. This is going to be super fun. Let's just dive right into it. So, I know you, but the audience might not. So why don't we use this first bit as an opportunity to get to know you, as an introduction. Who you are, your background, where you see yourself as in our community, and, kind of your journey getting to here.
Ooh, okay. I'm Michael Jahlil. I am an actor and a singer from Chester, Pennsylvania, which is a little bit right outside Philly.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually perfectly situated between Philly and Delaware. So
Really?
Yeah, and it's in Delaware County. It used to be the seat of Delaware County, but things have changed.
Shout out Delco.
Yes.
Shout out Delco.
Yes. My background. I grew up a little bit in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, gotcha.
That's actually where I decided that I wanted to be an actor. I think I've always known that.
Mm-hmm.
But Florida was where it was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
When was that?
This was in, 2000, 99, 2000.
Nice.
Yep. I was in the 7th grade.
Oh, yeah. And was it like you were in a school play and you figured it out, or were you always kind of surrounded by art growing up?
It's actually really weird. I loved art growing up. I loved movies specifically.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I love plays, but I didn't really know the thing. I didn't know what it was, the technical whatever. But I don't know. There was this brochure that kind of, gave you all the Jacksonville public schools, and they had what were called magnet schools.
Mm-hmm.
So each school would have like a program that you specialize in or something you're interested in.
Yeah.
And I saw something where they were building a middle school. They had already had a middle school. Landon Middle School was the performing arts and visual arts school for the kids. And,
gotcha.
But they were building a whole new state-of-the-art, and I was like, that would be cool to do that.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know what. I've always drawn, sketched and painted and stuff.
Oh, lovely.
That was like the thing when I was little. And then I started singing. So I was like, well, I don't know what I would go for. I knew personally I wanted to act. I just didn't, like I said, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, you didn't have the language to...
Yeah. And I didn't know what that was going to be. I was always funny. I was always, dramatic.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So I saw this, school, and there was a lottery that you had to enter. Your parents had to enter the lottery, and then that was how you would be chosen to go.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
My mother put both me and my little sister into the lottery just because she wanted us to kind of go to school together. Mm-hmm. We did not end up going to school together. She ended up going to another school, but I got in. So I went, and I was a part of the very first class of La Villa School of the Arts. Oh my gosh,
wow.
It's so crazy thinking about this time. So I went, and it was incredible. I had an acting class. My teacher, my very first acting teacher, her name was Amber Amerson. Shout out Amber. She was a protege of Wayne Brady's.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool.
So she, and I'm just gonna say, I was really bad when I started. It was really, I was just so scared.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That I was just like, and because she was a protege of Wayne Brady, most of the way she walked us into acting was through improv. Mm-hmm. Playing improv games, theater games. If everybody knows me, they know I hate theater games because I'm not good at them naturally. I'm really bad at them. So, but she, you know, she got me to be more confident. And there was this one day I got up, I just didn't do anything. I was just looking stupid. And I will never forget her looking at me and saying, "You look like you could do something." She's like, "But you just get up here and you just let your fear guide everything you do."
Whoa.
She got so annoyed with me. She's sit down, Michael, just sit down. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to just, because I could do all the things. I played characters. I knew how to do voices, all this kind of stuff. And I was just scared to do it because I just didn't want to do it in front of anyone. Gideon.
Whoa.
The next time I went to that lady's class, I got up. I don't know what the prompt was. I don't remember. But I acted a plumb fool. And I had so much fun. And I remember her looking at me and almost tears in her eyes. She was like, "What? Who?" She's like, "I knew, but I didn't know." It was like, you know. And she asked me after class. I remember she was like, "What is it? Why would?" I was just like, "Well, I heard what you said, you know." And I just decided to just move. And from then on, it was great. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. So that was really my first foray into what acting was. Now, mind you, I still didn't really know the mechanics. I didn't know anything about beats, objectives. I didn't know about any of that.
Of course, yeah.
She didn't really teach us that. She taught us very broad ideas about acting, you know, and character and all that kind of stuff. She basically was telling us a lot what not to do.
Okay,
know, like,
yeah.
No indicate. I will never, no indicating. There was a lot of this going on. And, look over there. That's it was a lot of that kind of stuff in that class, and she would just tell us to not do that. And then she also taught me the thing that I still carry to this day is to say yes. Say yes. Say yes. If something's given to you, accept it. You know, because that's what's gonna make you be able to think on your toes and to make you be able to, I don't know, just take the things that are thrown at you and be able to make your creativity turn it into something more story-like, I guess. Yeah. So that was my first foray. And then after that, there's a huge high school in Jacksonville called Douglas Anderson School of the Arts. Big, huge school. National Blue Ribbon school. This incredible school.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it's like, you have to audition to get into this school.
Totally, yeah. So I had a high school similar sitch.
Yes, so I went, I auditioned, I got in. I had really bad grades at the time because I was really like going through some shit when I lived down there. I'm not an idiot or anything. I just, your home life just f***ed it up, and I was just, me and my mom, we was fighting, honey. And this is me turning like 12, 13, 14. It was those years where you think you know everything.
Yep, formative and a little naive.
Oh
and
my
just...
God. An asshole. I was an asshole. I'm just gonna keep it real.
And
my mother,
who wasn't? At that point, really, who wasn't?
Yeah. So, but I was determined. I was determined because by that time I knew what acting was. Like that first year at La Villa, I used that summer to just immerse myself in art, immerse myself in what this is. I would go to the Jacksonville Public Library every day.
Awesome.
I would stay there till close. I would read biographies. I loved biographies of different actors. It was
awesome.
Just really, I don't know. I still to this day love biographies.
Did you have one that like still sticks to you?
Cher.
Oh yeah.
Cher. My first time. It was her book, her autobiography is called My First Time, and she would say, like, open each chapter with "My first time, such and such and such."
Yeah, totally.
Her story was so fucking cool to me because she was a person that was very singular too, and she kind of had a really rough kind of growing up. Her mom, they kind of butted heads a little bit when she was a teenager. She had an affair with Warren Beatty when she was like 17.
Dang.
Yeah, that man's a hoe. Yeah. That man's a hoe. Yeah. But it also, what I loved about it was because each thing was about a new experience.
Yeah.
She would just kind of talk about, my first time singing. She didn't even want to sing. She wanted, like me, she wanted to act. That's what she wanted to do. She could sing. It was something she could do.
Right. Yeah.
But it was like the acting was what really challenged her, what really invigorated her creative spirit. And I was literally having that experience. So
you found parallels in where she was at the time.
Yeah, and I still do that when I read the biographies. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm always trying to look for oh, how did they kind of surmount this, or how did they kind of figure this part out? You know, yeah.
And I mean, acting is all about, I mean, empathy, like understanding the person that you're going to be and truly putting yourself in that scenario of like, well, I understand. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from and where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
So that's really pivotal. That's such a cool moment.
Yeah.
And having all of that early experience of like that breakthrough, that's really cool. Because then it really clearly sets you up.
Yeah. No, it did. It did.
Yeah.
It did. And Douglas Anderson was a great experience. I was the first freshman in like 4 years to be cast in the musical.
Whoa. Cool.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking back on it, there are things that were really great about that time, but there are things that were not so great that I didn't really know weren't so great until I was older.
Yeah.
You know, like one of the main things is that Jacksonville is a highly conservative place.
Oof. Well,
the more north you go in Florida, it's really like that.
Of course.
It was interesting to me because I lived in poverty, me, my mother, my sister. My mom was a dialysis technician, and she didn't make a lot of money at all. She had done that as a specialty for years, you know, but she was not making a lot of money at all. She had just bought our house down there, and my mother had struggles with drugs. So she had been clean. This is the longest time she had been clean for like, I want to say like 15, 20 years, like by that point.
Yeah.
She was really like on her A game. But she still kind of had to deal with all of the fallout of having that experience.
Of course,
you know? And here we were, you know what I mean? And it was hard. And I really wish that we had the resources for me and my sister to actually like go to therapy then, because I think things would have been so much different, and for her, you know,
to have the language to communicate about it all. I mean, nobody's born with that.
Yeah, no, and it was hard because it was just like I was in a space where I wanted things. I saw where my life could go.
Yeah,
I saw what it could be through this gift, and I think my mother also saw it. But my mother dealt with a lot of, just like me, a lot of like really deep-seated inadequacy issues. And so I think being faced with a child who actually could do that thing, you know, in a different kind of level, or a more singular level than most folk, she was afraid of what that would have required of her. You know, I do know that now. And it was really hard, and I was going through that and really dealing with that in the high school that I was going to. And the minute that showed up was the minute a lot of the mostly white students, mostly white faculty were ready to give up on me, because they were just kind of like, oh no, you know, we loved you when you were incredible, when you came in here and you did the thing, and you know, people are good at that because of understanding real shit as a kid. Like, I understood trauma. I understood pain. I understood wherever we needed to go.
Yeah.
You know, I understood the things. But it's like, it's not just because I'm special. It's because I actually have experienced these things. And so, like you said earlier, I can empathize and really carry that. I didn't know what that was back then, but
you know, you could still.
Right,
yeah.
Right. You know, and then, and if we're using the Stanislavski thing, it is sense memory. It's just, I understand this because I've experienced it, or I can relate something I've experienced to it.
Yeah.
But when it came down to me coming in the office and saying, hey, I know we have to go to rehearsal today. Jacksonville is a huge city geographically. Huge. Gotcha. I lived here, I'm pointing up, guys, to the north. And my school was here toward the south. Right. Literally 40 minutes away from my house, just driving, with no traffic, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a really, really far away, you know, trek. And we would have rehearsal. We did Rags by Stephen Schwartz.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we would have to, you know, be there till like 10. And my mother, her little fucking bucket wasn't making it down there. She had to save gas for work. Real shit.
Yeah.
That people got to really deal with. And when I would say these things, then it was like, oh, you're actually a burden. Actually, no. This actually, we don't even, I don't even know. And so everybody turned on me. And there was a racial element with that.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know, when I was a shiny Negro, it was fine. You know, when I was coming in singing the house down and all that kind of stuff, it was like, oh, amazing.
Yeah.
But, you know, now it's like, oh, okay, well, I would like to continue doing this, but I need some help. Can somebody take me to this place? Yeah. Can somebody do, they were like, it just became no, absolutely not. So it became this introduction of the socioeconomics of trying to, number one, do this thing, and number two, just be a black boy, you know, trying to navigate his upcoming adulthood. Like, it was coming fast.
Yeah.
You know, and I really had to think about those things. And then on the flip side of that, my mother was also kind of discouraging me from doing it for the reasons that I said.
Yeah.
You know, and also because it was getting expensive. It was getting to a point where I was like, well, I have to be this other thing, or I have to do all this extra just for you to continue to do this.
Yep.
And I just don't know if I have that in me, or I want to have that in me to do this. I just don't. And so I remember one conversation we ended up having where she just said, well, I need you to get a job. You know, you could start working at 15 down there. She's like, I need you to get a job. I need you to start paying your way. I can't keep buying your clothes. I can't keep buying your school supplies. I just can't afford it anymore. And for me, it was like, well, why?
Right. Why can't you play that role?
Like,
There's no reason why you can't.
Seriously, that was what it was. That was the crux of what ended up happening. The schism between me and my mother was me saying, okay, I want to be better. So you need to be better. Make more money or something. I don't know. Like, that's what I want to do. Why do you want to, you know, make me bury my dreams? You know, like, it got so dramatic.
Not understanding that the determination that you had for yourself was in other people also. Yes. Like it was like, well, why aren't we all on the same page here?
Yes.
Yeah. That's tough.
It was very tough. And she and I, we would go back and forth, and it was the same argument, Gideon.
Yeah.
It was that.
You cycle.
It was, I want to move up in this world. I want to be this thing, and I can do it, but I cannot do it alone. And I can't just start working, because then I can't do everything. You know what I mean? It was just, it was crazy. And that was, like I said, that became the schism. And then I had come out to her around that time too.
Right.
So, you know, she's just like...
a lot of information, a lot of
you want, you need, and you this, and now I gotta do this. Just you know, it was so much, and I love my mother, but it was the hardest time in my life ever. I think, and I've gone through some things after that, but that was rough, because it was also the first time I was introduced to kids who had those things. Yeah. There was a girl, I'm not gonna say her name. Me and her were very cool, and she had a, you know, really nice house. One day we all went to her house after school. Gideon, when I tell you, I walked in this motherfucker. So her dad picks us up from school.
For sure.
We pull into their drive there, and they got one of them ones that you gotta drive around just to get to the door. Yeah. Then the house is on a cul-de-sac, right? So every house was like nice. But theirs was like in the middle, like the Grand Poobah, like, I'm the house on this corner. Like, that's just huge, beautiful house. Me walking through it, I just remember being like, oh my God. I was like, this is what y'all get to do every day. Yeah. This is how you get to live. This would solve everything. Right. Yeah. It would solve everything. Even with my mom, because I could just go to the other side of the fucking house. Yeah. And I didn't even have to hear her ass. You know what I mean?
My room's over there.
Yeah. And it was something as simple as that. And it was the very first time I understood socioeconomics for the first time in my life. Yeah. They say when you're a kid, you learn it, especially if you're black or racialized. Right. You understand those parts of it really, really early. But that was my first time understanding it just on a class level, where it was just like, oh, these people are rich and I am not. And like, I'm not at all. Like, it's literally like, a physical example. Yes. I mean, I also remember moments growing up and like going to a friend's house and then just being like,
this is different. This is a different thing you got going on.
Yeah.
And you don't even know.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
It's such a weird reality check.
It is.
Because then you go back to what you have and you're like, okay, so then what's the difference here?
Mm-hmm.
There is one.
There is one. There are a few. There are many.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard. She and I got into it once. The young lady. We had gotten our report cards, and I had this health class. Gideon. There was this woman named Mrs. Jackson.
Ooh.
And at the time, Outkast was huge. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yeah, that's literally what came to mind when you said that. I was gonna make a joke about it, but I was like, I'll refrain.
Yes, and what's so funny? She was very aware of it.
Of course.
So,
I mean, how could you not be?
I'm cracking up because she would, like, if someone said, "I'm sorry, Miss Jackson," before we could say "woo," she would say, "I'm sorry too, baby." Isn't that funny?
Oh, that's so fun.
And it would be so quick. She'd be like, "I'm sorry too, baby." Like, you're not gonna do it.
Beat you to it.
Yeah, it was. Oh, she was a nightmare, that woman. And then I found out later she was a Jehovah's Witness, and it all made sense.
Whoa. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, she came to my door, and I was like, of course.
Whoa.
Yeah, this
That's
is in the
crazy.
summer. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I was like, oh, you're in a... Okay.
Understood.
Yeah.
I get it
No
now.
disrespect to the Jehovah's Witnesses. Kingdom all the way, but listen, baby. So she was just a stickler about certain supplies, and she would, like, count for them every day. Like, if you don't have this folder with this kind of specification, you will be getting a 0 for the day. And those zeros added up. I ended up getting a C+ in this lady's class.
In a health class.
Yes.
Ugh, I hate it when that kind of thing happens.
It's like, ma'am, like, just teach us how to put on a condom and shut the up. Like, what is going on? Like, but
Yeah.
she was nuts. And I will never forget my friend and my rich friend. We were sitting at, Florida outside schools.
Yeah.
So we're outside, in the yard or whatever. And we're eating, and everybody's talking about their report cards. She gets straight A's, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, well, if I had the resources that y'all had, I would really, do really well. And I remember she said, what resources were you talking about? Like, I don't understand what you mean. So I was like, oh, you think... Oh, okay. I said, well, this folder that Miss Jackson always makes us get? My mother could not afford it. So that's why I could never have it until I could actually afford it.
Yeah.
She was like, oh. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah.
But she didn't really think about that kind of stuff.
Right.
It got to a point where, because I had to stay over her house one time because my mom said, I'm not picking you up because I told you not to go over there.
Gotcha.
And so... I ended up staying the night there, and I will never forget her mom coming into the room and asking me, well, why would she not pick you up? Did she take drugs or something?
Oh.
I was like, wow.
Jeez. There it is. Just...
And it's like, my mother did struggle with drugs, but that's not because... Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you... She was crazy. Anyway, but, so anyway, I'm saying all that to say... Yeah. That there were things that I was understanding about the world. And if you know me, those things formed... They
stick.
Yeah. Certain Michaelisms that, I'm very staunch about to this day, Yeah.
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 And now you're here.
And now I'm here in Philly.
I'd love to talk a bit about how you got here.
Yeah.
How Philadelphia... Because, I mean, you grew up in Chester, and then you moved to Florida. Mm-hmm. Then now you're back in Philadelphia, at least for now.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about, once high school was over, did you go to college right out of high school and then, like, work professionally?
So this is what kind of happened. I left after a couple of years in Jacksonville because me and my mom it was getting bad. So I ended up moving back to Chester with my grandmother.
Okay, yeah.
I went to high school here in Chester, and what's crazy is that the dream did not die. You know what I mean? It just solidified. It just continued to get larger and larger.
Once you have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what did it for me oh, this is crazy. I was just thinking about this. I was watching. I was still in Jacksonville at this time. No, I wasn't. I was in Jacksonville.
Mhm.
I was in Jacksonville, but I was about to move back up here. I was watching PBS, and R.I.P. PBS.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, it's so sad. Like, I mean,
let this
yeah,
moment that Michael is talking about be constant proof as to why PBS matters.
period.
Continue, Michael.
Period. No, but for real, it really does.
Yeah.
I was watching PBS, and they have a program on there called American Masters. American Masters has come on forever. It basically just highlights an artist or artists, and talks about that journey or whatever, some kind of way. And they did one on Juilliard, and they just talked about the whole school, and they had put out this book, this incredible coffee table book called Juilliard. I think I have it at the house somewhere. I had to look for it. I have the documentary too. But yeah, so they have this huge, incredible, wonderful book, where they just tell the history of the drama division, the dance division, and the music division, of course.
Yeah.
And everybody would talk about Juilliard when I was in school, in high school specifically, you know, a lot of the actors. And I would just be like, whatever, you know, like, I don't care. And I remember the lady who ran the theater department was kind of like chewing me out. And she was kind of like, I could get you into Juilliard. You just need to be serious. You know, I was kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just didn't care
until
I just happened to watch it. It just happened to be on. And when I turned it on, Gideon, I swear to God, I turned it on. And Christine Baranski was talking about becoming an actor. And it was wonderful because it was right at the top. I still watch. I'm getting chills. I still watch that interview. She said, she was like, I was just a girl from Cheektowaga, New York, with an acting dream, you know? And she said, I wanted to go to that school so bad. She told the story of how they told her that she had to get her teeth fixed right here, and that she had to, it was crazy back in the day.
Yeah.
And she had to take speech class. She did a speech workshop over the summer. She came back, performed her work, and she said that who was it? Mara Sokolov, I think, was kind of, had her back to her. And so she couldn't see her. And Michael Kahn was like right next to her. And so she said, he looks at the teacher and he's kind of like, he just says, yeah, you know, and then she just, she's such a good actress. She said she just looked over her shoulder and said that. And then he said, welcome to Juilliard. And she just started crying. And it was important to her because she said this thing too, when she said, I always felt like because we were in Lincoln Center, we were right there where the Metropolitan Opera is. We were right there with ABT, the American Ballet Theater. She was like, there was something incredible about being in a space where we were creating high art. We were creating art at the level of, you know, the highest level it could be, you know, and she said, and I was there learning how to do that, you know, and I will never forget that I was like, oh, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
That was it. It was like, oh, I want to go there. Oh, I don't even, it was, I want to go there. But what I really wanted was I want to be classically trained. I want that.
Yes.
That in the European style of training, I want that.
Yeah.
You know, and from then on, that's what it was for me. That's what it was for me the whole time. I came back from Jacksonville to live in Chester. I graduated from high school, and I worked for a year at Strawbridge and Clothier. I don't know if anybody remembers that. It was a department store. It was the best department store.
Oh?
And it's gone now, and it sucks. They used to have one right up here. Oh my God, it was the best store. You could go on Strawbridge and get anything you needed. Like, and it was like fashion forward. It wasn't like stuffy duffy like Macy's.
Yeah.
It was really cute. Like they had a polo section. It was cute. Anyway, I worked there.
Yeah, totally.
And I needed a job. I needed money.
Right.
And so I worked there for like a year, and that acting, it just was still there.
It's eating at you.
Yeah. And I was still like, I don't know. I didn't know how I wanted to move and do it. I just didn't know.
Yeah. Did you continue to do like theater at high school? Like, did you do the shows?
No. Chester High didn't really have a theater program. We got the crack era Chester High up. The 90s had an incredible theater program. Actually, I saw Little Shop of Horrors when I was 6 years old at Chester High School. It changed my life.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but yes, they do not have one. So
it's been eating at you for a while.
Yeah, eating at me for a while. And I'm like, what do I do? How do I do this? While I was still in high school, though, that's where I went to the UArts. This is where UArts came into my life. I went to the UArts Pre-College Summer Institute when Charlie Gilbert was the head of the musical theater department. Nancy Cantra was the dance teacher in the theater department. Patty Rain, to this day, Patricia Rain, she teaches at Penn now. But to this day, I learned so much about my voice working with her that one summer. We were there for 4 weeks.
I did the same thing.
That's wonderful.
I did the musical theater track 4 weeks. Summer, I did it in 2019. And let me tell you, those 4 weeks felt like 4 years of work. Did. Like, and so I totally understand that, like, they're so incredibly pivotal. I had Rob Tucker.
That's so
while
cool.
I was there, I had Alex Bechtel, I had Cheris still, and I'll always remember doing a audition, like a mock audition for Rob near the end of the run, near the end of the track, and I did Waving Through a Window because of course I did. I was like 16 and Dear Evan Hansen was hot and I was like, I think I'm a tenor, and it was just all this stuff. And I did like a cut of that song for him, and he just looks at me after I was done and was just like, so you're never gonna sing that again, right?
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, yeah, no I won't. And wow. I never have. And honestly, it's moments like those and teachers like that at that age, like being able to like experience that college level education and honesty and critical thinking that truly was like, oh no, but I like that. I like being told this because now I get to learn and I get to get better and I get to work towards something. Right. And so, the pre-college at UArts, shout out to everyone who let that happen. That was crazy. But you know, me and my mother, while we were living apart, we started to get along better. So I would talk to her every day. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Yes, it does. And me and that crazy lady, I told her about the Summer Institute. And I think she realized how important it was. Yeah. And I think she could figure out how to help me. She paid for it herself. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to get emotional like that. But no, please. Yeah. She paid for it herself. And I think she was just trying to let me know that because it was important to me, it was also important to her. And it was never not important to her. It's just, life. It's yeah. But I'm forever grateful to her for that. Like, because if it wasn't for that moment, I don't know. But it was great in the same ways that you found it great, where it was like, oh wait, this is a shocker. Yep. There were kids that have been doing musical theater since they were children. I could sing, you know what I mean? Right. And I can act. And by this time I had a little bit more acting training because of Jacksonville, but it still wasn't. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it was, and I was one of them people that would get up and do something, and because I naturally did the thing, I didn't necessarily know how to translate what I did to vocabulary of any kind, and that's still like very important to me because, like I said, that Juilliard, that documentary changed my life because it was literally like, oh, there's a reason why, these people are so gifted. They're like me, like they get it, they know, they just need to know how to pull from the toolbox, Yeah. And so that was a great eye-opening moment for me because it, like you said, it just kind of was like, oh, okay, I know where I need to work, Right. And so I was like, well, it's UArts. I'm just gonna go to UArts, No dance class training, nothing. Child ain't took a ballet class until that summer. Yeah. And so, so funny. So I went to the audition. By this time I'm in my senior year of high school at this point. I hadn't graduated yet. Gotcha. I'm in my senior year,
And, you know, I go and audition for the musical theater department.
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I sang Everybody Says Don't from Anyone Can Whistle.
Oh, yeah.
But only because I liked the song. I did not practice that song. I did not have any... Like, I just didn't do the thing that you're supposed to do.
Right.
To do the thing. And it was like, yeah, girl, I was singing on one note. Whoever... I don't know what that lady... She's like an older lady. She teaches... there still. She played the piano that day. And I forgot her name. She's so nice, that lady. Anyway. She played.
Cheris?
It wasn't Cheris.
It wasn't Cheris. You would have remembered.
It was not Cheris. It was that other little short lady. I don't know what her name is. I think she has a vocal studio there. I just don't know. Well, she did. Child, R.I.P. But she like, you know, anyway, she was nice. She played for me. I was singing one tempo. She was playing another. It was ghetto. And Charlie Gilbert, I remember him saying, "Stop, stop, stop."
Oh, yeah.
He was just kind of like, okay, where did you learn the song? Why do you know that song? Why are you singing that? What about this song? You know? And I was like, oh, I really like Barbra Streisand's version. So that's why I'm singing it.
Yeah.
And then it was fine. But I did not get in. I left this is really funny and embarrassing. I left all my music there.
Oh.
Because I just left. I booked it.
Yeah, of course. I mean.
Left out the door. And 2 weeks later, I got a big envelope from UArts.
Oh.
Tell me why. And my big sister, I will never forget. She was like, "You got in. I think you got in. I think you got in." Getting in, I opened up the thing. It's just my music.
You're like, oh, that's where that went.
It was really. I hadn't even realized I left it there until I got in. That was so. Oof.
Yeah, that's a gut punch.
That was a gut punch. That was a bad one. So I'm trucking on, and I started working at Strawbridge's, and which was fine. But I needed to act, and I needed to figure it out. Mm-hmm. I wanted to audition for Juilliard. I was like, I'm gonna audition.
There was the goal. You had it set.
Yes, I'm gonna find out what to do. I'm gonna find out where to go. So, I was scared. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. But I do need to get to New York. I need to do something. So I saw, AMDA had all those. You take the little paper off and you send in. God, that school's so predatory.
Oh. Email after email after email. AMDA would never go away.
My God, they would
I think
never.
I still get AMDA emails somehow. I'm like,
crazy.
I was like, what?
That's cool. Anyway, so I auditioned for AMDA, got in. They gave me a scholarship, not the full scholarship that they said they were going to. It was ghetto.
Yeah.
That school is very known for that. But
Scamda.
That was really what we called it, Scamda back then. I ended up going with people that are fierce. I mean, there are people that are very fierce that went to AMDA.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's still a program that people find, and like they go and they're good, and like.
So I'm gonna tell you why.
For sure.
And this is alleged, because I don't want nobody but I know what I'm talking about. I went there. So AMDA. You go in, you audition, you get into the program. They pretty much, I think it's like an 83% acceptance rate at that school. But they put you in tiers.
Okay.
So the top tier are the ones that they actually foster. Everybody else is a check. Everybody else is a check. That's what keeps that school afloat. And so, dependent on what tier you're in, and you'll know by who's in your class.
Yeah.
You'll know how they actually feel about your ass. You know what I mean?
Well, so how many tiers were there? Like, were you able to tell?
You can tell. So when I went, our incoming class, we had, I want to say like, it's 5 tiers.
Wow.
That were in what was called the integrated program, the musical theater program.
Yeah.
I don't know how the straight acting program works, because I wasn't in that. The integrated program for sure it was about 5 tiers. So like 5 classes. And then some classes you took with everybody from each tier.
Of course. Yeah.
Except for the top tier ones. The top tier ones take class together. That's it.
Wow. Just really building a cohort just for them.
Just for them. Everybody else.
Fascinating.
Yeah, everybody else kind of gets the shit end of the stick. I was in like tier 2, tier 3. So it's like y'all are good and y'all can improve. But we're not going to be fostering you like that. But they always kept their eyes on you. Elaine Petrikoff, she was the leader of the integrator program. She's this mean lady. She's crazy. And but she would come and sit in different classes, and she would pick people or say certain things.
Whoa.
Yeah, so they would keep their eye on you just in case as you move through it to see kind of your earning potential.
And could they move you to different?
I did not get moved because I ended up getting the out of there.
Of course.
Yes. I was at AMDA for a semester.
Oh,
I was at AMDA for a semester.
So you smelled it and you were like, nope.
Yeah. And New York City was whooping my ass. It was too expensive.
Yeah.
I was not working. I had to do this show. If I could work, I had to do this school.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was just bad. And what made it worse, AMDA is right behind Lincoln Center. So I had to walk past Juilliard every day. And that was God. I'm very spiritual. I'm very, God centered.
Yeah.
That was God. Just kind of like, you over here fucking around.
Right. Yeah.
You're gonna that is stop being scared. Stop being afraid. Move, take a step. You know what I mean? Like,
that's wild.
Yeah, and it was bad because I just kind of would have to see it. And I would just I don't know, just gut punch me every single time. And, you're like walking down this really long hill. It's like right by the projects too.
Yeah.
Lincoln Center projects there are projects, but I don't even know if they're still there. But, this big hill, this little nondescript building. And it didn't even have how they put the letters on the building?
Yeah.
It had basically a fucking poster board. And I was like, oh God. And so anyway, but I will say I met incredible people. Some of the friends that I made at that time, I was friends with for over almost 20 years.
Of course.
Some of the most talented people. Jason Derulo's girlfriend, Danielle Roundtree, went there. Jason went there.
Whoa.
And he had actually just left when I came in.
Oh, wow.
So, and if you go on any Broadway, if you were in Tier 1 at AMDA, you had an entirely different experience than everybody else. Yeah. So, you went to an incredible conservatory. Everybody else was on some bullshit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And it's unfortunate because they need those other students to keep the building open, I guess.
Right.
But it's just so exploitative.
Yeah.
And it really, really sucks that they have to do that way. But that was the process. I do not know if it's like that still, but when I was there, that's how it was. Mm-hmm. And I had to go because it was just too much. I was kind of like, I'm not really getting anything from this. My acting classes were just a breeze. I had this really nice man named Paul Savis. I will never forget him. He's such a sweet man. But he was just funny. We would do exercises and whatever. He was like, yeah, Michael, you keep doing what you're doing, man, you're going to work forever. And I'll be like, because AMDA it's a very industry, it keeps its nose to the industry.
Of course.
It's not necessarily about, showing you a whole bunch of million techniques that you can pull from in that classical training way. Mm-hmm. It's very much like, we're going to teach you how to grind.
Yep.
We're going to teach you how to book.
Here's the machine.
Yeah.
We're going to put you in it.
Yes. Yeah. And you will be a part of this if you can deal and if you can handle it.
Right.
And it is, most musical theater programs are kind of like that.
Oh, yeah.
But
BFAs.
At least those kids get to walk for 4 years and figure it out. Mm-hmm. And really take the time to, they turn them kids out like butter at AMDA. It was,
wow.
It was, but incredible artists.
But just not for you.
It was not for me. No.
Yeah.
It was not for me. For my temperament, for the kind of I was dealing with emotionally, it just wasn't gonna do it. So I had to go. So then I made the decision. I said I'm going to audition for American Idol.
Yeah, look at that obvious pipeline. Obvious. Why wouldn't you?
Why would I? Right?
Especially that era of American Idol. Mm-hmm. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
It was huge.
It was huge.
And if you got it, you got it, right?
Yes.
And then it was that determination that you had.
Yeah.
Still sticking around.
Still chugging.
Bringing you to Hollywood.
Oh my goodness. It was crazy. It was the craziest experience of my life. I had auditioned already. I had auditioned a year prior to when I did the next time.
Gotcha.
I auditioned for season 4, 5? Okay. I want to say it was 5. It was 5. In Boston. I went by myself.
Oh, wow.
I went up there. Child, I don't even know what I sang. Got cut immediately. And I just knew it was going to be, you know, 2 bags, $3, 1 me. Like, I just knew it was going to happen. Like, it was like, and when them kids said, thank you, we're not going to choose any of you, thank you. I was like,
bye-bye.
I had to just, oh, child, take it on the chin.
Yeah.
Take my black ass home on the bus. I spent my little coin on that hotel. It was really funny. It was bad, but it was okay. But I did say, oh, I'm never doing that again. I said I will never do that.
And there you were again.
And then I did.
So how'd that second one go?
Better.
Better.
Yes,
Good,
I don't really tell this story that much. I lost all this weight. Depression mainly. And I was just kind of just felt little skinny thing. And I will never forget, I went and there were some people I knew. There was this guy that I had kind of dated. He's like a big deal in like the Philly soul music, you know, arena. I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
And I dated him and he told me I was too fat. He's like, I've never dated someone as fat as you. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. And that was the summer that I lost all that weight. I lost so much weight. It was crazy. But I also was like, I'll show you, bastard. You know?
Yeah.
And God set it up so that I had to go to that audition. And a friend of mine, a singer, he ended up on The Voice years later. He's a really well-known Chester vocalist. Probably the most well-known Chester vocalist of the past few years. He was there. And they were all singing. All the black people found each other and just started singing in the hallway. This was in the Wachovia Center when it was called that.
Yeah.
And we just singing and something said, shut up. You don't have nothing to prove to none of these people. Sing when it's your turn to sing.
Yeah.
You know, because we had to wait a really long time. It was like 20,000 people at that audition.
Yeah, wow.
So when it was our turn, everybody's voice was gone. They were all like, I don't have a voice. I just can't. And my friend, the guy from Chester, he was looking at me like, you ain't sing nothing. I was like, I sure ain't. I'm not singing anything. And the guy that told me I was fat, he saw me. And this is funny. This is just for me.
Yeah.
But he saw me. He was like, hey, do you remember me? I was kind of like, not really. He was like, oh, you came over. We hung out a few times. I was like, oh, okay. How'd it go? Did you make it? You know, he was like, oh, I haven't gone yet. So I was like, okay. So it was my turn to go. And I was in a group with 3 other people. They do it like by 4s. In a group with 3 other people. He was like a little bit in front of me. And I saw him like jerking and doing a lot of weird shit. So I was just kind of like, okay, that's not going to go well.
Yeah.
And it didn't. And it was funny. And I laughed to myself.
As you should.
As I should have. Because he was an asshole.
Yeah, clearly.
And it was so funny. So it was my turn to go. And I just remember it was so easy. It's just like, I also feel like when things are supposed to be, or when they're meant to happen, you're never stressed or hyper. Like there's a calmness that has, in my experience, kind of come over me in those moments that have always been the same exact feeling. Like it's always this very easy feeling. And I remember kind of standing there and I sang My Sharia More. I loved singing My Sharia More. It was my favorite songs. And I was just getting into Stevie at the time.
Yeah.
So I sang it and it was, it was lovely. It was pretty. And I'll never forget the lady, I stepped back and then everybody else went, but she kept looking at me. She just kept like looking at me out the corner of her eye. And then, she said, can you come back again? I'm going to give you one more chance. Sing something else. And I don't know why I immediately thought of my mother. My mother used to love classic 80s rock. My mother graduated high school in 1985.
Yeah.
So she loved classic rock. Like she loved Journey and Hall and Oates and all those kind of singers.
Totally.
And the first thing that came in my head was Sarah Smile by Hall and Oates. Yeah. And I hadn't practiced it. That wasn't a song I was thinking about singing. I just sang it. And she said, oh, that's so cool that you sang like a Philly song.
Yeah.
She's like, that's great. Here you go. And so I was like, oh, really? So I still remember what I was wearing. I think I still have those jeans. It's like I can fit one leg into him now. But I remember going back there and filling out the paperwork, and
Wow.
it was crazy. It was the craziest feeling.
Wild.
Yeah, because it was like, And so I filled out everything, and then they tell us we had to come back at a later date, where we would be auditioning for Paula Abdul, Simon Cowell, Randy Jackson, and it was incredible. Todrick Hall, who I ended up being cool with years later, he was right in front of me. It was his turn to go right in front of me, and he ended up, of course, getting on the show and doing really well on there,
doing the Todrick thing. Yeah.
But I remember he was kind of looking. He's like, you nervous? He's got those like maleficent eyes. He's like, you nervous? I was like, no, I'm not nervous. I was like, I'm just a little shaky. He was like, you'll be fine. He's like, I'm sure you can sing. You look like it. It was one of the nicest things anybody had said to me. He was cool. He was funny.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And he was in the color purple at the time. Mm-hmm. So he was just kind of like, girl, I gotta go to work. That's.
I gotta be on stage after this. I gotta. Yeah.
He was chilling, but he came out. Ryan Seacrest. He kind of talked to him, and and Ryan Seacrest is the shortest person I think I've ever seen in my life. I remember that was the first thing that I said in my head. I was like, God, he's so little. He's like a tiny man.
He's a little guy.
And he was so nice. And I went in. My whole family was there. Literally. My Uncle Junior, who had just had eye surgery, was there. He had the Mac Daddy glasses. Those glasses they give you after you. Yeah. He was there. It was terrible.
He's just got to hear you.
Just listen. He was going to be there.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy. Sweet. Yeah, it was really, really crazy. My baby sister was pregnant with my niece, so I always tell my niece, you were there, you were on TV, And I went in right after Todrick. I saw everybody. I sang my two little songs, and Simon said he liked me immediately. Then it was all this. Then all of a sudden, I had the thing, and I run out. I don't know if you could probably get my season up, but I'm running out, and my whole family is there, and that's what they showed on TV too. Just me running out, my family being there. It was really cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was the weirdest experience I'd ever been a part of. But keep in mind, big fish in a little pond is real.
Oh yeah,
big fish in a little pond. Whoever is listening to this, whoever is under the sound of my voice, do not underestimate the pond when it gets bigger. You got to understand that if you are a big fish in a small pond, you about to go and swim upriver, and it's some big trout, some salmon, it's some mackerel. The girls are there, and we all trying to chase after one or two worms.
Right.
So that was what the next part of American Idol was for me. I went to Hollywood, got over there, and I realized that I had absolutely no performance skills. I had no idea. Now, by this time, I kind of figured out, acting is one thing. Yeah. Singing is one thing. You can kind of put them together, and then there's musical theater. But what we do here in this, it's very singular.
Yeah.
It's
controlling a stage.
Yes.
Working an audience.
And you have to know yourself to do that.
Oh, yeah.
You have to know yourself. And I just didn't know. Man, people would get up there, sing their songs, and they would just light it up. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm very used to me just standing, the sound comes out, and then the people do the thing. Yeah. I never really knew, I have to actually bring you into this. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. I have no real stage acumen. I don't know, Yeah. So it was interesting, and I was devastated when I got cut. Mm-hmm. But I also used it and said, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. So this is really the coming back to Philly. I came back to Philly, and Philly is very known for its live music scene. Mm-hmm. Back then, the soul music scene specifically. There was an open mic called Just Words. It was the longest running open mic because there was one that used to be at the Black Lily. That was a big, huge one. Yeah. But they closed it. But Just Words, picked up that slack. And it became this huge, wonderful event. And I would go up there every week. and I would learn how to perform, and I would learn how to tell the story.
Oh,
I would learn how to manipulate the crowd. I learned how to play with the band. I learned how to, have A to Z in a song, like really figure that out. And I cut my teeth right up here. Oh my gosh, so close. It was right up here on Girard Avenue. Oh my gosh. Yeah, now it's something else, but yeah, that was where it was, and I went up there and I would just perform and learn and perform and learn.
Like going to the gym.
Yeah.
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 Training that muscle.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah.
And then you were here.
And I was here.
Working that muscle.
And I finally tried to figure out some kind of plan for my life. I was like, I need to figure out how we're going to make this happen. I need to figure out how I can do this. I had all these skills, but I still, that classical actor training, that was just eating at me so much. It was like, I want you to do this. We have to do this. This is a part of the story, and so I started auditioning for shows.
Yeah.
I left AMDA. I was being a because I was like, because there was a lot of talking when I left. A lot of people, running their yaps. But I never really left New York. I stayed in New York every week. I was in New York every week after that. It's just hanging out with friends that I met at AMDA. The ones that would let me stay with them, meeting so many people who are doing incredible things now that were just trying to get at it like me back then.
Yeah.
And coming up with them and doing this audition and that audition. My first callback I ever had that was successful in the theater realm or musical theater realm was a Disney Cruise Line. And I sang that song, But the World Goes Round.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to sing the out of that song. And I sang it, but that B flat was always really scary.
Scary.
Yeah, and it was never like right in the pocket, and so I was trying to learn how to do that. But I was using these experiences, and this is why auditions are so important.
Yeah, because
you learn what you're gonna do. You learn kind of where you're at in those spaces. You learn where you are artistically. You learn where you are mentally, emotionally. Everything about you at that moment is converging, to present to folks. So that's why it's such a good idea to make sure it's always the you show. Make sure it's always well prepared, and make sure that it's always exciting, and that's beautiful things happen in those rooms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be such a scary thing. They're really opportunities to be, an artist, to be the artist that you want to be. And so I would do that, and I would take that information. Okay, well, that's the thing I got to work on. I got to learn how to get up there and make sure it's sailing up there and it's not strainy or sketchy or whatever. So that's just what I did, and I was booking work from that.
Cool.
Workshops and all kinds of things, readings. People was just like, oh, Michael Jahlil sings. Can you sing at this? Can you do this? And also being in New York at that time, people would just do stuff because most of us weren't working. So people would have readings at their apartments of plays.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's awesome.
It's so fun. I said I was gonna start doing that because I just loved doing that.
Yeah.
Because it was just so fun. We would cast everybody and we get up there and we do the thing. Because sometimes you don't know, somebody that wasn't working that day, they get an opportunity and they're like, I remember you did that fucking reading at my house. You were an incredible Maggie the Cat. Can you come do this?
Yeah.
So I started realizing that's what it was.
Yep.
Now, all this time, I'm just trying to work up to getting to the Juilliard audition. I'm trying to work up to getting...
Still there.
Still there. So one day, I did it. I said, I'm going to do it. I filled out the application. I did not have $150 to give the people at Juilliard. Ugh. But all that they told me to do was send me an email, let me know your situation, and then it'll pay your... application fee.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can do.
Wonderful. So I did that. And then that process just kept going and kept going. I had already done the American Idol thing, so cattle calls and shit like that was nothing to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You experienced the cattle call.
The cattle call. So it was like being in a space where I'm the one that's got to go next and all that. It was nothing. My best friend at the time was in The Color Purple. And he saved my life that day. I'm not going to tell his business, but he called me while I was auditioning, waiting in the waiting room, and I was so nervous. So when I saw his name, I was like, oh my gosh, it just immediately calmed me down. He called me and said, hey, how's it going? You know, I was like, it's going good, you know. He's like,
whoa! Oh my god! Just dropped it.
Dropped it. So it immediately made me like guffaw. Like I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I thank God that he did that because it literally stopped me from being nervous.
Yeah.
It stopped me from feeling like I needed to do anything but just be myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally being myself and being distracted by this absurd story about how. And it just got me ready to go into that room and do my pieces. I will never forget what I did. I did Richard II. I still do Richard II. A monologue from Richard II. And I did. Yes, from 6 Degrees of Separation. I still do that one every once in a while too. And I sang. What did I sing? What did you sing? Oh, I'm always a flop at a top-notch affair, but I still got my health, so why should I care? I sang that song.
Yeah.
And I love that song. And it was, and I remember Trezana Beverly was, and Deborah Lapidus. Deborah Lapidus is the most important singing teacher in the classical training business. Like, everybody's been trained by this lady to sing. She's sitting there. She asked me to sing in my first audition, and she was just kind of like, okay, and then Trezana Beverly's like, no, she's like, she did that play Lady Sitting a couple years ago. That lady, she's still acting. She's amazing. She's kind of like, I want you to just do it as a monologue. And I was like, okay. So, I did that.
Sure thing.
She was like, thank you, Michael. I was like, okay. So then, of course, there's this dramatic moment. They put the list on the thing, and if you're not on the list, you did not make it to the callback round. And I was the last one to look. And Kathy Hood, who's the administrative director at Juilliard, she was literally probably like, okay, can you hurry the up? Because I'm I'm just slow death marching to this list. And I saw my name, and I'll never forget me saying, I just breathed so hard. And she smiled at me. She's like, all right, Michael, we're right in this room over here,
Oh.
And so, and it was incredible because they love you and they make you want to go there.
Yeah.
And then you do all these things, and then we played theater games, and I wasn't bad at them.
Yay.
And it was just amazing, and it was like you get a taste of the thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, yes, that Juilliard, that classical training that, you see people, they say that they are, and they you don't really know what it means, but it was that.
Mm-hmm.
It was that.
You had been chasing it for so long.
So long.
And there you were.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was being called back with Jimmy Johnson, who's in, I think he plays Burr, doesn't he, in Hamilton? Anyway. You would have to ask Zoe on tour. Yeah. Because she ended up going to go see it. And she said, I'll never forget, she's like, oh, and the guy that plays Burr, I was like, who? She's like, oh, his name is Jimmy. I was like, Jimmy Johnson? So we auditioned for Juilliard together. He got in, but I was like, I knew he was going to get in. I just knew because when we were working and doing the thing, I was like, he's good.
Yeah.
He got a suit on and it was really, really cool. It was just an incredible experience, and I had to have it. I was like, I have to do this.
Right.
This is what the goal is from now on. And so that was kind of what it was. I was working here in Philly. I was just kind of coming back to from New York, because I was in New York, in New York. Then I ended up coming back down here. But I never really left here. It was like I was
it's always been
oscillated between New York and Philly. And I ended up auditioning for Dreamgirls on a whim. I'm sorry. That's gross. I had a really good job down here. I was a standardized patient for ECFMG over at the Science Centers.
Oh, yeah.
I did that for 2 years. Most money I've ever made. The most fun I ever had doing a job. It got boring, but give me a break.
Yeah.
It was incredibly easy.
Of course.
It was, and I was always in drip. I would go to New York looking cute as shit. People be like, oh my God, Michael, you always look so cute. I'd be like, what? Because I got a job. I had a real job. We had a Christmas party and it was a real job.
That's a real job.
And most of the people that worked there were actors.
Right.
and Philly actors.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So I
Cool.
got to talk to Philly people, and I got
Mm-hmm.
to know a lot of the Philly actors, and it was just incredible. Like, what an incredible job. Like, it was great. And then I left that job to go on tour with Dreamgirls, the musical, as Jimmy Early.
As Jimmy Early.
Anyway, it was fine. I'm glad that I did it. Actually, that's a lie. I'm not glad that I did it.
Yeah,
It was the worst thing that had ever happened to me.
Whoa.
I thought it was going to be great, but...
Was it a non-union?
It was a non-union tour.
There it is.
It was a non-union tour. It was crazy.
How long was it?
It was like... The tour itself, we spent a year on the road, and then the other 6 months, I think, were in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they had like a sit-down production in Japan.
Cool.
And, Okinawa? Yeah, maybe. So I did not go to that leg of the tour. I had left the show by that time. I left in a puff of smoke. It was crazy. And I want to talk about it. I want to say the things. A lot of people like to keep things to themselves about that stuff, but it was bad. And some of it was my fault.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
My best friend at the time, he and I were on tour together. We were targeted a lot on that tour. We dealt with a lot of, kind of racist production management. It was an all-black tour, so, they were very rude to us, very disrespectful to us. Me and my best friend thought we were fighting for the collective. But the collective was kind of like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. This is my job. I'm not trying to get, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to rock the boat. I'm not trying to be,
letting things slide.
Yes, letting a lot of things slide.
The money.
But unfortunately, we didn't always go about it the best way. And I feel like I made enemies on that tour that I really didn't have to make enemies with. A lot of it was loyalty because of my best friend at the time. And a lot of the, folks that he didn't really fool with, I didn't really fool with, because that's who I am. That's what loyalty means to me.
Yep.
And it was no shade. It was just a lot of opportunities for unprofessionalism that I didn't always have to, take.
Yeah.
I could be, I know this is also at a time when I was discovering, I'm bipolar. I have bipolar disorder. So I was kind of discovering what that meant for me. I did not know what that was. I knew that I had always been very different, and I knew that in my 20s, it had gotten very intense.
Gotcha.
Mainly with racing thoughts. That's kind of where it started to start, where I was like, what is going on? Like, it would, the thoughts would be, and I still deal with this sometimes, the thoughts would be faster than I could come out and say, you know what I mean? So I would, I'd struggle with that, and I didn't understand what that was. I just thought, I was like, well, you just goofy, you're just awkward. And I was like, no, something else is going on.
Right.
And then when I would become, withdrawn, it would be really, really withdrawn.
Yeah.
And then I had, anger problems. I tell people all the time I have a temper. It's not that I have a temper. That's not how I characterize that anymore. But what it is I'm emotionally dysregulated, and I don't know how to stop that.
Yeah.
I also found out, this is a fairly recent development, I have a long-term, post-traumatic stress disorder. So that really was running amok at the time as well, in morbidity or whatever they call it, with my bipolar disorder, which was crazy. I can't believe I didn't know that, but yeah, but it was, it took years of therapy for me to really realize, how that was. How that was operating in my life, and it really was operating in my life, and a lot of that showed itself during that tour. And while I do not regret a lot of the that I had to say, because at the end of the day, my heart was in the right place, I do regret some of the ways that I handled a lot of things.
Of course.
There are people to this day, that I just wish I could just say, I'm very sorry for how I treated you.
Yeah.
I am very sorry that you heard me say that. I am very sorry that but when you don't know yourself,
That's growth.
Yeah, when
No,
you don't
that's
know
growth.
yourself, you got to know yourself. You got to know yourself because it's
Yeah.
people can manipulate you, and you can feel like you don't know who you are, so you adopt things from other people and other ways of thinking that you don't even understand what you're doing that for. You don't even understand why you're feeling like that or expressing that way. You're just being weird. So that was awful. So after that tour, I just quit. I did not want to act anymore.
That was the last straw.
It really was, and it really was for a long time. For a long time, I was just kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't really think I'm good enough to do this. And that went back to me with the classical training. I was like, I have to get training, because there was stuff that I would go through in rehearsal that I didn't understand. If I had training, it would be so much better.
Yeah. Back to not having the language, not knowing how to communicate properly with the director, to work with the group, listen. It really does come down to knowing your stuff. Knowing your stuff, because that's the easiest way to be able to avoid all that silly shit.
You know what I mean? And of course, the protection of a union. One of my good friends from back in the day, he was on a tour right after that Dreamgirls tour that was non-union, but they went union because they all stuck together. And we were, I know me and my friend at the time, we were trying to entertain that idea, but we just couldn't do that with the people that we were with. They didn't like us that much, and they didn't really fuck with us to the point where they could really kind of make that happen. So that was like a thing. And so I went back to the drawing board and I said, you know what, I'm going to audition for Juilliard again. I'm going to really try to do that, make that happen. I did again, and I went through the process again, but I did not make it into the program. And by that time, I could not audition for the school anymore.
Oh,
because
okay.
because I had auditioned, I had left school, my undergrad, so I was kind of like, well, you have to, you can't audition for undergrad twice. And that was also the first year they were auditioning people for the master's program.
Okay.
So, and they were surprised that I was back for the bachelor's. They didn't know. They were like, oh. And then I think that's part of it too, why I didn't get in, because it was like, well, we're not going to take a spot from one of the bachelor's kids for you. Right. You'd be more right for the master's, because what they were trying to do, I think I would have been perfect for it, but I just wasn't, I didn't have a degree.
Right, you weren't in that stage of life anymore.
Yeah. So, when that happened, that's where things started to go south for me. My mental health issues started to compound. And it was weird because it was like right along the same time when my mom got sick again. My mom had cancer when we lived in Jacksonville. I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm the family member nobody tells anything to. So there's that.
Right.
So, and I also come from a family that's very much a, we keeping this secret, like it's very much like, I'm very much from one of those kind of families.
Deal with it when we deal with it kind of thing.
Or don't deal with it. Even though it's kind of sitting in your face. So, and my mother did not want to tell me that. Of course. So everybody else knew. They just didn't want to tell me. And then my mental health issues, they were kind of like, oh, absolutely not. We're not telling you. Like we're not, So her cancer had kind of resurfaced. Yeah. And she got really sick. Because once she went into the chemotherapy, yes, it got the cancer out, or put it into remission, but her heart was destroyed from it. Yeah. So it was like
chemo puts you through the ringer. It really is not.
Yeah. And by that point, my mom had gone through it thrice.
Yeah.
And so she was just kind of like, I'm done. So at this point, I was working different jobs. I was doing some stuff here and there. But I had really kind of checked out of the industry, really. I did little stuff, like little things, readings. My best friend at the time, he's a writer. He actually ended up becoming a staff writer for a few shows later on. but he was writing a lot of projects, and he was always keeping me involved with them. So he's like, if this goes anywhere, if this does anything, we're going to do this, and so I was kind of sticking with it that way.
Yeah.
But not really in a way where I'm out auditioning. And then the auditions I was having were just unsuccessful. And I was just like I said, my mental health had just deteriorated really badly. Like I present more depressive. So it was a lot of that. But I also kind of was dealing with some mania stuff too. And that was a new thing because I hadn't really had it like that. Or I hadn't really, but I was dealing with some mania stuff and I didn't know that's what it was. And I kept getting into all these huge fights with my friends. I ended up going on tour with Wynton Marsalis. And the only reason why I went on that tour was because my best friend at the time, he asked me to be on the tour. And I didn't want to go because my mom was really sick.
Right.
And I just wanted to be near her.
Be present in case, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't want... He was just like, come on, you got to do this. It's a cute little bag. We only on tour for like 3 months or a month and a half, something like that. It's really like, come on, And I went on the tour and I wasn't even in a room with him, my best friend. I didn't know that until we were on the tour. Then I was like, then he was, he had befriended somebody on the tour who was a bully to me. So now, mind you, we had done that Dreamgirls tour together, and like I said, I'm loyal. I don't play that. You know what I mean? When I say I am your friend, or I am, you are a loved one. You are a loved one. This is saying Virgos love hard. We really do. Like I don't play that. Like I don't, But this tour, this person was very mean to me. And it was hard because I really, I have a temper. And I wanted to just, with everything I was going through, I just wanted to smack out of him. I'm just keep it real.
Well, yeah. Of course.
Multiple times, but I did not do that because I ended up recognizing and realizing, and this was kind of the schism between my best friend at the time and me, was that I was like, oh, okay. It's actually not even just him that I have a problem with. He's fine, whatever. People have been bullying me since I was a child. I can deal with that. But why are you okay with it?
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the thing that just sent me to the next depressive space. Yeah. Because I just felt like alone. Like those feelings that you have, I know I definitely dealt with as a child, were just coming up so much. Yep. Within this dynamic. And it was not, and I'm not saying anything bad about them. They're a good person. They're a great person. They were a great friend when, but it was a relationship that was beginning to deteriorate. Yeah. And for me, it was like, I didn't know that. And so I just didn't know how to handle that. I didn't know what that looked like or what that was. And so I started going to therapy. I've been kind of going due to the bipolar disorder, but that was just medicine. Like I was trying to get that medically taken care of so that I wasn't dealing with the things that were compounding and getting worse. And that was good because once I got on meds, I started being like, oh, I could see a little clearer. And I just kind of saw what my life was or what it wasn't or what, and I could kind of navigate it a little bit more. And I recognized very, very clearly that, me and this person needed to kind of separate. Unfortunately, it was a huge turning point in my life, and it took a really long time to get over. Yeah. And it was crazy because it was like, this ain't even a romantic, it was just, that was my friend.
And sometimes those hit harder.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and it debilitated me for years and years, and I was just so sad. We all right now, like, I mean, it's all love. It's always been all love, but it took its toll on me. Yeah. We do not talk anymore. But like I said, it's, it's all love because the love was real. You know what I mean? So it's, that was my friend. Yeah. And I had to recognize the things that I was feeling like I was lacking and needing in other people. that were in me. So this was literally, I'm saying all that to say, this was a turning point, not only because it was awful, but because it was important. You know, it was like, you have to learn who Michael is and why Michael deserves love.
Yeah.
Why Michael deserves to, you know, so that's where this journey with therapy started. And I just started going regularly and stirring it up I didn't know was there.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it too. You know, you start that journey, that putting that mirror in front of yourself, and you're like, oh, it's you. It's you.
Yep.
You know, yes, that was a breakup that I had. It was very sad with my homie, and it was, but you know, it's you. How are you responding to it? Mm-hmm. That ended, and I was flatlined. You know, I was like, you know, and then my mother died. So, and that was the final John. That was the final.
What was the like span of time between those two?
Oof. So my mom died. The nails were being put in the coffin of that friendship a little bit before my mom died.
Okay.
We were kind of at the tail end of things.
Yeah.
That tour that we did just, you know, it kind of damaged us. And I think what it did for both of us, and I think that he would agree, is that we saw things in ourselves. We weren't good with each other at that point.
Yeah.
It was like, bro, like it's not serving you. You're not serving you. Like we have to kind of let that go.
Of course.
And we had started that. My mom died. He came down with two of my other friends, good friends, came down, you know, for the funeral and everything. And after that, I think it was like a year and a half, about a year and a half, and yeah, about a year and a half, and it was done. Like after my mom passed, me and I just, you know,
yeah,
we cut ties, and we talked a little bit, you know, after once or twice, but you know, the friendship as it was finished. Yeah. So I was grieving. I didn't even know that. You know, it was like, you're not only grieving my mama, I'm grieving a whole relationship that was formative.
Yep.
Formative. This is a person I went to AMDA together. I went to AMDA in 2006. This was 2017. Yeah, 2017 when we stopped being cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was crazy. And, you know, it just taught me a lot about myself and the ways that I spoke to myself, the things I was out here doing. I was mess. You know, I was really just floundering, and my mom's passing just gave me the permission to just be self-sabotaging.
Yeah. Because the lack of that person and like someone, I mean, you even said like having these moments that you had early in your career and all of these like goals that you decided on so early on, you had, whether or not it was good or like whether or not it was positive at the time, she was still like part of those decisions. And so I guess, yeah, not having that right then must have been tough. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it was tough. I mean, it's still tough. I still, like, I face it and deal with it.
That's grief.
I feel like I'm, like, for real, undergrad. Like, my real undergrad.
Yeah. No, right.
My real undergrad.
Yes, the undergrad.
It really kind of was, like, the period of time where I really learned to live with the grief. Like, I'm just now coming out of, like, I can talk about my mom without breaking down. That was not the case for a long time.
Well, yeah.
And every once in a while I still do, but, you know, I understand what it is in the context of the rest of my life.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I had a counselor tell me once about grief and like this analogy works for me so well. And I'm sure others have heard it, and you might have. But imagine it's sort of like a box, and then in that box is a ball. Mm-hmm. And then when the grief happens, when the loss is present for the first time, the ball fills up the whole box. right? It's like it's touching every corner.
Mm.
And as time goes by, the ball gets smaller. But it will never go away because it's always touching a side of the box. And so it always gets shook around and everything, but it's always there. And so it was like, this person allowed me to be like, oh, so I shouldn't expect it to leave. But knowing that it will always get smaller and hurt less, like the impact of it is less. I was like, oh, so then I could be okay with that. So yeah, that works for me really well.
That was amazing. I've never heard that analogy, so that's wonderful. Yes,
yeah.
That sums it up beautifully. Yeah. So I was just at a space when I started, and decided to go back to school.
And that school was UArts.
Well, it was.
I jumped the boat. That's my bad.
No, it's all right. No, it's all right. I kind of was like, I'd gotten this job, a grown-up job.
Yeah.
An apartment, and
was that here?
Yep, that was in the area, and
Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I ended up. That was the worst time. That was what I would consider the lowest point in my life, because I kind of stopped taking my meds.
Right.
I was kind of just wilding out. I had some substance issues. It was bad. And I remember being in my apartment and looking up at the ceiling and just praying for it to just fall in huge rocks and, save my head for last. Like, it was very crazy, the kind of suicidal ideation that I was having at the time. And I was just kind of like, okay, great. Like, this is where we are.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily remember what the thing was that got me out of it. I think it was a process. It was like, I think I watched something. Oh, yes, that's what happened. I watched this thing on TV about this guy named Hazim Hardiman. Hazim Hardiman went to Temple, too. He was the second Rhodes Scholar to ever come from Philly. And it was just this cool, little story about him.
Yeah.
And he was talking about his life growing up right around here, literally in this neighborhood. He would ride his bike through Temple. And he said that him and his friends thought they were like taking ownership of taking their neighborhood back in a way by doing that.
Yeah.
Just a really poetic way of thinking about it. And I remember being kind of like, oh, that's so cool. Rhodes Scholar, he's going to go to Oxford and he's going to do the thing. And then I found out that he went to Community College of Philadelphia and he was in the honors program there. And he said, that's where it started for me. He was like, that's where it started. He said, I didn't even know that it was a possibility until I enrolled in the honors program at CCP. He's like, it taught me so much about, myself and my actual gifts as a scholar, because he said he didn't really have good grades or anything. He wasn't particularly, but he found scholarship through that program. And it was interesting to me. And I said, you know what, God, I want to act. I do not want to do this job anymore. Yes, I'm getting paid all this money. Yes, I have an apartment. But look at me. If I keep this pace up. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. It's okay.
If I keep at the pace that I'm at, I'm going to be gone. And I don't want to be gone. Yeah. I still have something to say. I still have something to say as an artist and as a human being. And I said, God, please, tell me what to do. And I saw that report. I saw that thing on Zoom. And I said, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to go back to school. I want to act for real. I want to learn how to do the thing. I want to be a good actor. So
the spark
Yeah,
There it
it's
is.
back, and it didn't really
Right,
go
it never
anywhere.
goes. It never goes.
It's been there. The way that was the path that has always been the path. And I wrote down. I remember taking out my notebook and I wrote down everything I liked about every actor that I've ever admired.
Yeah.
Everything about them. And the one running theme is that they were all highly intellectual people. And I started reading everything. And I always read. I'd never really,
Yeah.
it was not, but this time in the reading, it was like, I'm trying to read this and I really want to be curious. I don't want to read it just to say, I've read this.
Right.
I want to read it because I want it to actively still be going on in my mind.
Yeah. Reading for yourself, not other people.
Yes. And so I said, well, if he can do, I was like, I'm just do that. I enrolled at CCP.
Awesome.
I got into the honors program. You had to kiss them. You had to do all kinds of shit. They do not like having just anybody in it. So I didn't know that. Like, I just thought you just signed and said, oh, yes. No, you have to take the entrance test and you have to score a certain percentage can, which was great because I was like, okay, let's see what happens. Scored really high on it. Thought I was going to tumble in math. The math was good. It was fine.
Awesome. Yeah.
I was kind of like, okay. So I'm not an idiot.
Confirmed I am not an idiot.
I was like, I'm not an idiot. I was so nervous about the English exam because it gave me this weird, it cut me off during the test. And I was like, oh, does that mean I failed? So I was calling CCP. I'm like, hi, excuse me.
Yeah.
And the lady got to a point where she said, okay, Michael, hi, is this my... You left me a message. She's like, Michael, you scored the highest on the English that you can score. You're fine.
Well, yeah.
Because I was sitting her stressed out as, hi, I just want to know, like, did my test go through? Because I was putting everything on that. And I was like, I have to... This was it. And so when I did that, I took full cohort, all these incredible classes. You think you smart until you realize, oh, wait, I don't know shit. And I think that's what smart people actually are. It's kind of like you actually don't know. So that curiosity was the thing that I kept with me this entire time. Like, I was like, I have to stay curious.
Amazing.
And I learned about the world. I said, I don't want to take no acting classes. I don't want to take any theater related anything. I just want to think and write and read about the world. That's what I want to do. And that's what I did. That is what I did. We read the Ramayana. We read the Odyssey. We read, we took class at the Barnes Foundation.
Yeah.
Really incredible, like, interesting, ways to think and view and ask questions. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. It really was. And I don't know, everybody under the sound of my voice, if you want to go back to school, do an honors program somewhere. CCP, I recommend it. I know all the teachers, they're great. Like, do that. Think about the world that you're living in. Understand how this thing moves and understand what it is that we're doing here. We're not just eating, sleeping, fucking farting, and that's not it. That's not it. You know what I mean?
That's not everything.
We're literally, like, there's so much that we have tried to make sense of, that we're still trying to make sense of as a collective human race, that is just really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
If you allow your brain to go there.
Of course.
So that's kind of what I did, and that was what brought UArts into my life.
UArts back into your life.
Yes, because UArts kept sending me, they kept sending me, I don't know, applications, so, apply to UArts, and I didn't really know. I think, I don't know if this is true or not. I think I had entertained the idea of going to UArts around the time that I entertained the idea of going to Juilliard. So I think they had my mailing list just from that.
Makes
so
sense.
One day, mind you, now by this time at CCP, I was taking some acting classes because my cohort for honors had ended. And so I saw in my email said, if you apply for UArts, you won't have an application fee. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'll do it,
Yeah, why not?
And at the time, Akeem Davis, Philly actor, extraordinaire, incredible person, human being and performer. Oh my God, director, a baddie.
Incredible.
He was kind of like, oh yeah, you should do it. And he was like, and I know the people over there. He's like, he's just so masculine. He's kind of like, oh, Krista Apple, I know her. I was kind of like, ooh, okay, you know,
sure thing, yeah,
yeah. So I signed up. I was like, well, I haven't auditioned in a while.
Yeah.
Let me just see if I can still do this.
Shake the cobwebs, yeah.
So I went and I went to the audition. And I was there with all these kids getting, oh my goodness. But I was used to it because I was going to CCP with a lot of young people.
Yeah.
And I loved, like, that was just the best part of it to me. I think I learned more from them than anything.
Yeah.
Young people are so cool. So I and Krista Apple was my auditor. And, it's just this amazing energy.
Yep.
And I did Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth is my dream role.
Awesome.
I want to play Lady Macbeth one day. I will play Lady Macbeth.
You will.
I don't know how that's going to happen,
will.
but that's going to happen.
Yep. 100%.
And I did Lady Macbeth. Was the Hope Drunk? That
yep.
one. And then I did my 6 Degrees of Separation. I think I did 6 Degrees of Separation. Either that or a piano lesson, one of them. And I remember she was just kind of like, oh, please come over, come sit down. She was like, oh, and she just looked, and Krista, I love Krista because I'm being weird, she's being weird.
Yeah.
We're all like just feeling this energy, and she was kind of like, we're gonna keep it. We're just gonna keep that energy. I want to keep it. I want to talk to you. Who are you? Where did you come from?
Yeah.
Like,
where have you been?
Because that was what it was with her. And she was like, and this time I was, of course, auditioning for the acting department. I did not want to be in the musical theater world. I mean, I knew that I would work doing musicals. I wasn't worried about that.
Right.
The acting was really important for me to get training as an actor. So she kind of just asked me a bunch of questions, and she told me that she loved that I made Lady Macbeth human. She's like, sometimes people, I think her words, she's like, sometimes people turn her into some kind of, I don't know, bat lady or something she said that was really funny. Like but really true. Like a monster. Yeah. And she was like, you found this wonderful humanity there. She's like, and I'm very obsessed with that. Like, who are you, Oh,
that's lovely to hear.
Yeah. And I had done a James Imes play at CCP with Akeem. And so she was like, oh, and James. She's like, and she went to grad school with him. So, she did, I think she went to grad school with him. I could be wrong. And she also did Wilma Theater High House because she's a High House member. And I think they were, that whole thing. So, I didn't know these things. I just knew that there was this lady in front of me and I liked her.
Yeah. Because
she was very interesting and she was very interested in me. And everything I did, she was f***ing with it. It wasn't her trying to change it or turn anything different,
Yep.
And so we were auditioning and I asked her, I said, well, I want to go to grad school. That's what I'm here for. I didn't finish my undergrad and I have to finish my undergrad in order to go to grad school. And so I was like, how fast can you get me out of here? That was really what the conversation between Krista and I was.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's what we did. We figured that out. And she let me come in as a junior. I did end up having to take 12 credits, but that was fine. We took care of that. That's so crazy, the things that I had to go through for. It was just crazy. So, it was just wonderful to kind of be on the path that I had always wanted to be on.
Yeah.
And to be the person now and get to do it. And I kept doing this thing where I was kind of, I just wish I would have known back then. Mm-hmm. Or, I wish I was this person then. Right. I wish that there was a lot of that. And I remember Krista one day in her office, she said, well, you're doing it now.
Right.
She said, you are doing it. That is what you're doing. You are literally the person. Now you're reparenting yourself. And you're not only reparenting yourself, you're reteaching yourself how to be an actor. You're rediscovering who you are as a performer. Mm-hmm. With everything you know and everything you've been through then, now you can carry that there. Like, that's what you're literally doing.
Incredible. Yeah.
So I just was kind of like...
She's so right.
She's so right. She's so right. And I just to anybody, if you're feeling like, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I promise you, you are doing it now.
Yeah.
You are doing it now. Like, whatever that is, whoever you wish you were at this time, that's who you are now. You're doing it for that person at that time, at that age. And that's really what I was doing. And it just took her to say it to me to be like, because most of the problem with me, I think, with this training was that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody telling you, "Oh, Michael, you're great," or "You're this, that, and the third," and it's kind of like it's great when you hear people say that, but it's just like I don't believe that. And if you don't believe that, you've already lost.
Right.
So it became this thing about, and Jameson really taught me this.
Shout out
Understanding,
Jameson Foreman.
Jameson Foreman was like, the skill is there, you are there, you just gotta now rise up to where you are. Like it was like you have to actually with it.
Yep.
Because that's the only missing ingredient. That's it. Like you actually, those fucking tarot cards he used to give us.
Yeah.
He's like, he gave me this one. I was like, I don't know what this means. What is this? You know, he's kind of like, this tarot is the person. They know. This is what you have it.
Yeah.
You have it.
The faculty at UArts championed people.
Yeah.
In a way that is so present and so clear, and they make it seem it's just like, oh, you're so right. Like it in a way that I don't think would have made any other sense in any other setting. Like it's just the right time, the right person. And yeah, I am so thrilled to have gotten to meet those people and for you to have gotten to meet those people, because my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when I did Rent, Jameson came to the show. And, I mean, the first thing we did, we just embraced.
Yep.
And we both cried. Because it was just like, and he said it. He's like, you worked so hard.
Yeah.
He said, you worked so hard. He was like, your work ethic was out of control. He's like, and look at who you are. Look at what you're doing. The things you've accomplished in such a short amount of time. He's like, and I know for you, this isn't even the big goal.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. He said there's a lot of people that do the thing and they don't even.
This is the bridge. This is, yeah.
And I just, but he was the one really with that kind of, was like, you actually have to kind of rise up to what you can do.
Yep.
Because that is what's going to drop you, and then if you look back over your life, you recognize that was where things did drop you. You stopped believing in yourself. I don't know when and I don't know why, but you did. And so then, that, ushered in a whole bunch of other kind of that you were, using to find out, like, especially like guys and, oh my God, like, drinking and shit, just wilding out, you know what I mean? Just like, kind of like you're trying to look for something in these things that are outside of yourself that are literally here.
Yeah.
They're there already. And I don't know. If this interview has any kind of, I don't know, theme, it is, you are enough. You're more than enough, actually. The fact that you are taking up space, in this place, you have a right to be that. Whatever that is. Whatever that looks like. Whatever that sounds like. Whatever that choose like, anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, who you are is it. So be that. Do that. So now I feel like what I try to do in my life is help people get there, because people helped me get there. Whenever I see somebody, I'm always encouraging them. It's important to me because it's very easy to let this world make you think that you're not worthy of anything.
Yeah.
And we do it to ourselves the worst. And so for me, I feel like being an encouragement to folks, that's what it is. That's where it sits for me. It is invigorating to see somebody find out their worth right before your eyes in ways,
That's fucking beautiful, Michael. That's so beautiful. And I can tell that you're living by that so hard now. And I thank you for that, because you've done that for me. You've done that for people in my life. It is obvious and it is clear.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you for being you.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I would love to talk a little bit now about your time at UArts, because honestly, talking about your path and the journey that brought you here and this constant goal of like, I need the toolbox. I need to know how to do this and what that means. Then you got it. You got time at UArts, you got time at Temple. You were able to hone the craft and learn from people and get to understand yourself as an actor from a technical standpoint. So I would love to now dive into how you do it. How you do it, why you do it. I've seen you perform. You're brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
And you have such a unique presence on stage that I've been able to pick up and notice because you're very thoughtful. And so I would just love to dive into like what you've taken from the classes you've been able to take and the teachers that you've had. And we've already talked about that a little, but even more. And honestly, some of the parts you were able to play in a conservatory setting, right? Because UArts was such a unique college in the sense that we were able to work with working professionals and then work on texts that don't often get done and in like budgets and time and spaces that often wouldn't be given to students. And so I would just love to hear about that.
I think when I did the James Imes show, that was the first play that I had done since Dreamgirls.
Gotcha.
Nope, that's not true. I did a workshop of a play in Vegas.
Oh, well,
So since that time, but it had been considerable amount of time. So, I didn't know what it was going to give. I didn't know what that was going to be. So I just learned my lines. I also just kept telling myself to be curious. That was a big thing. It was like, be curious, be curious. They were doing vocal arrangements. And I said, oh, I can do that. I can help do that.
Yeah.
I did that. That was great. And I was working with young people. And I'm going to just keep it real. I didn't really have the best experience on that show just because those kids were not necessarily theater artists.
Yeah.
They were students at Bryn Mawr and at Haverford.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I was kind of like, I was this grown person in this show with all these young people, and a lot of them weren't very nice. So it was kind of like, how do I navigate this? But that was what I started to realize I needed a lot of work on.
Gotcha.
It was kind of like, okay, there's the approach to the role, and there's the approach to the world of the play, but there's also the approach. You can't approach none of that if you don't know how to approach the people in it.
Right.
Or how to respond to the people in it.
Yeah.
So
it's the art of collaboration.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're not going to like everybody.
No.
And it gets to a point where, you probably won't.
Yeah. And that's
it's very rare when you do really like everyone. The director of that show, Raelle Myrick Hodges, she's an incredible director. Because she's grown and because I was grown, it was easy for me to kind of deal with her. Akeem, of course, was like mentoring me too. He was my professor at the time, and he was like kind of ushering me back into the fold of acting just generally. And so getting to know me and understanding things about me were interesting, but he would always help me kind of do that. So I knew when I went to UArts, it was gonna have to be because of that experience. I knew what I had to focus on. I knew that I had to what I needed to focus on, because this was really going to be important in grad school, and it is going to be really important in grad school, is you have to learn how to collaborate in this highly collaborative art form when it's not fun and giggly and happy.
Right.
There are going to be times where that curiosity, you're going to really be thinking about it. You're going to really be trying to figure out not only the world of the play, but the people and how you can make this thing better with them. And that was also where I started to realize, oh, you're actually doing brand creation too, because as actors, and this, and like Amina say all the time, this is a business of people, and everybody's going to experience you differently.
Yep. And
so you would want most of those experiences to be good ones.
Of course.
So how do you do that? How do you do that? And that's what I spent time at UArts doing. I literally would get triggered or have an emotional response to something that I didn't agree with or did not like or did like or loved or whatever. And I really had to sit and think about how I was going to move forward.
Yep.
And I had to really say, okay, now there was a time when you used to handle this like this.
Right.
And there's a time when you would handle it a certain way. How do you do it now? So UArts for me was all about that. And I think that's what helped with the work.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as I can have a language with you or figure this thing out with you, then the work is going to be it's going to be good, or it's going to be at least we're actually going to be doing the thing.
Yeah,
it's
honest.
not, you know what I mean? We're not like cut off because I'm pissed off at you, or you know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah.
I had a teacher who was very challenging for me the first semester at UArts. They were my acting teacher, and it was hard because I had gone to CCP and I understood the world in ways at this point that I just didn't. I'm telling you, going back to school was the best because it really made me realize, like, oh, these are the systems at work in the world.
Yeah.
And these systems operate individually, in individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, even through you, especially through you. So I was kind of like understanding certain things about that relationship with that teacher. And I was like, it's not going to be sustainable if you go the off on this man. You can't do that. There are going to be times when you want to, and you will be righteous in your anger, but you can't do it. You can't do it. So how do you do this? And I learned on the fucking job, in the classroom, I had to figure it out. Yeah. And it was like the best lesson because it was like, oh, this is what Krista's like, the reparenting, the living, you know, the kind of doing the thing now. Like, this is you doing it. This is what it is. It's just a lot, you know what I mean? But I learned so much of it, and I learned so much about myself during those moments. Everything is not a battle. Everything is not a saga. Sometimes you have to let people have the space, especially performing artists. You have to allow performing artists to be stank sometimes, or like be, you know, whatever, or be unlikable. We actually need to start kind of letting people do that. You don't got to disrespect nobody. You don't have to blow it up, but give people the space to figure the thing out so they can come back and be curious without it being a problem. So that was literally what it was for me, especially with Midsummer. Krista didn't know if I was going to get into UArts. She was just like, well, I just want to hire you as Oberon.
I want to pay you to be my Oberon.
Yeah, it's just like, I'll pay you. You don't even have to come to the school, you know. But I was like, no, I'm going to come to the school. You know, like, you know, she's like, okay, you know. She's like, you could, you know, whatever happens, I want you to do this.
And you did. And yeah, to those listening who didn't get to see it or did, A Midsummer Night's Dream, directed by Krista Apple, was one of the most brilliant pieces I've seen to this day. And Michael here played a grounded, impressive Oberon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I know that I'm not alone in thinking that. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, like getting that opportunity must have been.
It was
so
amazing.
Fun.
It was my first Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
I had never done one. I performed many of them in my room. I played all the important parts.
Of course.
But I'd never done it in front of people and done the thing. And so that was the most important part of it for me. It was like, okay, let's show, this is the thing. This is what you want to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Let's build these skills now. And that's what I did. And when I tell you, like, I mean, 408, that classroom was my office. People always make jokes. Like, Michael's office, we're going to Michael's office. Or 804, whatever the hell that, I think it was 804. That little room, I would be in there. I have, like I said, because of my bipolar disorder, I have some other issues. I have, like, short-term memory issues. And so I have to, like, drill stuff a certain way, or else it's just not gonna, you know. And then if I get, like, stuck, well, you've seen it. It literally I just stop. And I'm getting better at it. I'm learning how to actually deal with that part of my relationship too, because I always want people to think you're not perfect, but like that I did the work. I don't ever want people to think I'm not doing the work. That's very important to me. And so, you know, when that happens, it makes me very self-conscious. Not so much anymore, but like, because, you know, we were in class. And
it was an educational setting.
It was an educational setting. It's like, girl, relax. But, you know, it's just the pressure that I was putting on myself. And that's also another thing. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself too at UArts because it wasn't about just, oh, I'm learning this thing. And no, it was literally with Midsummer particularly, it was like, you want to go to school for this. You want to be in Central Park in New York City doing this.
It's almost like a second chance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to it up. I was going to get up there and do the thing, and that was going to be that. And that's what I did. Like, that's what I did. Yeah. And it was just, but I had to take stock of what do you need? What do you need to be successful at this? And I know that when I'm a professor, that's going to be one of my biggest questions to my students. It's going to be like, what do you need to be successful? And you are the only one that knows that. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. Are you going to step up to the occasion or not? Like, that's what it is. It's like, you going to do the thing or are you not? So that's what it really was. And I hadn't asked myself that question in a long time. I hadn't asked myself that. I wasn't regularly asking myself, are you willing to do the work? Sorry, this is from a movie called A Piece of Action. It's a monologue with Shirley Ralph. She says, "Are you dependable? Can you do the work?" Anyway, but me and my
Shirley Ralph.
Yeah, she's a genius.
Love her.
But yeah, it's a very funny. But it's great. Anyway, but I say it all the time to myself because it's like, are you? Can you do it? And what would you need to be able to do it?
Yeah.
And give yourself that. You're giving yourself a gift when you do that. Like, if you know. Like, for me, it was really important my last year at Temple to work on my body. It was just important to kind of like, I want to look like the grad school guy. I wanted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to, the vision of the branding in my mind was very important. So I took personal training. I mean, I took weight training there. Changed my life. Because it was awesome. Like, I never really knew how to do it. I was just picking up and putting it down. I didn't know. I learned about how to actually do that. And do it for me. Like, I'm not trying to look like, you know, Trey Songz or anything. It was more like, what does that version of Michael kind of look? How can he be strong in the body? How can they present the way they want to present in these different situations? To let people know that you're serious about this. This is a very physical job. Like,
very much.
Acting is a highly physical job. And I didn't even know, this is another thing that's great that I discovered at UArts. I didn't even know I liked being on the ground and acting crazy and shit. I love, if you see me in class, you know I love getting on the ground and moving around and being in crazy position. I love like that. And I had no idea until I took weight training, until I started getting back into my body. Like, I had no idea that I loved that kind of like, I was like, oh yeah, you know, I actually really like being ridiculous with the body. I like seeing where it goes and what it does and how it can affect the storytelling. And, you know, and I just kept doing that. Like, through UArts, through Temple, it was like, just be curious and see what can happen next. Take a chance, do it first, and then if it's bad, it'll just be bad.
Yep.
You know, but you did something. You actually made a choice.
Amina Robinson set us up for that perfectly.
She did.
Yeah.
She really did. And it was until, remember when she did the, that sort of kind of check-off workshop with us?
Oh, with the light?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Michael and I took Acting 5 with Amina Robinson while we had time at Temple. And it was sort of framed as a grad school audition prep class with her. And we were in this room with a bunch of brilliant actors just working monologues all the time.
All the time.
And then there were just these moments. I feel like Amina was so fun in the sense that we never knew what she was gonna do next. I felt like I was always going to that class being like, I don't know what we're gonna do today. I could just do that monologue 3 times.
Yeah.
Or we're going to roll around on the floor and talk about the light that's inside of us and shrink and grow and then cry because of that. Especially, at least for me, having now gone through 3 years of undergrad and feeling like, well, I'm in my senior year. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then getting more opportunities to be like, whoa, I don't know anything. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Was so brilliant.
Yeah.
And yeah, that exercise with her.
She, I mean, to go on a tangent about Amina. Amina was the very first black female acting teacher I've ever had. And it meant so much to me because I loved her directing style. I did Once on This Island. I was in the understudy cast at the Arden. And Amina directed that. And I loved watching her direct. There was something about, I mean, maybe it's the Aquarian thing. There's something about that air sign with it was great.
Yeah.
And I just loved, she knew where she wanted to jump off from. But she wasn't rigid about where it went once it jumped off. So she would lay this wonderful foundation. I learned this too, again, in Intimate Apparel with her. She lays this foundation and then she said, okay, go play.
Yeah.
Surprise me. Entertain me. Do the thing. Affect me. And she would do that in that class too.
Did.
It was very much like, okay.
And
then she would tell her thoughts and they would help or they would not, or they would, they always helped.
They did.
For me, they always helped. And it just, I think her class singularly got me. Too bad I didn't get to have Krista Apple as an acting teacher because I know that was next.
Oh yeah.
If she was my acting teacher or Mark Wade, I think I would have discovered this sooner if I worked with them. But when I worked with Amina, because she was a black female teacher, there's an instant. I love you. You don't understand how much I have a respect for you because you're a black woman in this world. Just because you navigate this racialized as a black woman.
Yeah.
And so anything you really tell me it's up. Like I'm doing it. But at the same time, I still want to make sure I am impressing you. I still want you, but she never demands that of you.
No.
She never demands any of that of you. She just demanded you do your best work for you, for who you are and what you want to do.
Wherever you were that day.
Yeah, and her class was a culmination of all of the work that I put in to get to grad school, and this was the money moment. This was like, all right, can you do it? And Amina also coaches people too, outside of Temple for grad school prep. So it was just kismet. It was like when I said earlier, there's this softness, this calm that comes over. There's an ease when things are on the right path.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's one way, but it's not. It's easy. It fits. And it fit. And then not only that, the next semester she said take David Ingram's Chekhov class. And for all the that I've been doing prior to that, I did not know how to act or know what acting was until I took his class.
Ooh.
It finally clicked to me. I was like, "Oh, this is what this is." I'm getting like excited too because earlier in this conversation I said you kind of repeated back to me the vocabulary. I need the vocabulary. I need to know this thing for classical training. I finally got the first part of it from that class.
Awesome.
I was like, oh, yes, this is acting. This is what it is. And
those light bulb moments.
And I told Krista Apple this. Krista Apple came to Temple to talk to me, to sit down and debrief about my auditions for grad school. And I told her the same thing. I said, well, now I know what acting is. She's like, what is it?
I still don't know. What is it?
I'm like, it's in the doing. It's in the doing. It's the doing. It's the doing is the acting. The doing is the acting. We think it's all this other. I know I grew up thinking it was all kinds of shit.
Yep.
But it's not any of that. It's the doing.
It's doing.
How are you doing that? Like Chekhov, that technique specifically says, how are you doing that? Like, you take, what's Miss Girl name? Uta Hagen.
Uta Hagen, yep.
It's why.
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Meisner too, a little bit. But it's like, it's very much with Chekhov is how are you doing this? And that that's why that technique really opens up for people. Because I was like, because you're not focused on none of that. You are focused on the feeling. And you can only get the feeling by doing the thing. Anyway. But.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And now that you know that it's the doing, you were able to take that and bring it to Rent.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. I mean, Steve Pasek, he wanted to do Laban-based movement throughout the show.
Yep.
And it was interesting because we had a whole discussion in Chekhov with David Ingram about how Laban and Chekhov were really good friends, and their techniques overlap a lot of ways.
Yep.
So a lot of the language that he was using or that he wanted to use for the piece, I kind of understood it already. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's ring in Laban, and it's also ring in Chekhov.
Yes,
that's
it is.
You know, this, and it was easy for me to kind of understand. And so once again, I was back in my body again and doing that thing. So it was, I didn't have a singular role.
Yeah.
So I was playing different characters at different times. And the beginning was hard because I just didn't know exactly how to make that character different or distinct from the other one. But I just stopped doing that. I stopped caring about that.
Yeah.
And I just started just
doing it.
Just doing. Yeah, just doing. And then that was even like bringing in the how is kind of like, oh, is this, is this, what is it, molding, or, what is that? What are they doing there?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this person? And how are they doing that thing there? What do you want? And then how are you going to get it? Just back to the basic stuff, but using the body to do it. Like the Christmas bells before the big Act 1 finale, La Vie Boheme.
Yep.
That was about temperature for me. I found all of that because it's cold.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's cold. So the cold it's the cold that affects you to where it's like, I'm going to punch somebody in their face.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold. It's really cold and it's making me angry, Or it's really cold and it's making me sad.
Yeah.
Or, I had this relationship with this cup. I was kind of like, there's nothing in this cup, and that is the cup I'm going to use to go poison myself later with a bunch of alcohol. I don't know. I was thinking about all kinds of things to actually have a relationship to what was happening around.
To live in that world.
Yeah. And then Santa Fe, I loved because it was the one time this character got to just be free and be in his, most of the characters on stage, but be in his escapism, escaping this world, and he gets to carry that. That's why you always see me jump off that little ledge at the end, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm taking it all the way there, and sometimes I would screw up that choreography, but I was like, you would though,
right? You would though,
and now me, that's growth, because I really would have been like, I started lashing myself or something, like the fucking judge in Sweeney Todd. But no, I was like, oh, well, the character, that's not even what he's just living.
It's not what it's about.
He's just living.
Yeah.
He's living. And maybe he didn't feel it that day. Maybe he didn't. And that just opened up everything for me, because I was just like, that's that kind of feeling that you have to have in everything, And the minute I started thinking about that, that made that experience better. So I just stayed curious during Rent, mainly because there were a lot of questions that I just, sometimes you want the director to answer the questions. This particular experience was like that, where it was like, oh, can you tell me everything that I need to do?
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's actually not what this is. This is, they want to use you and what you think to do the thing and show the thing. And it worked, because all of us are doing that.
Yep.
And that show was very successful. So maybe not critically, but commercially it definitely was.
Oh, yeah.
And we really, the audiences really felt it.
They did. They really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like having the little time I got with it, and with my cast, and with the sliver of moment that I got with the directors, I felt like, to your point and epiphany of just doing, they really understood, especially Steve, understood this, and of course Terry, and Terry's seasoned. Terry knows what he's doing, but like, they both had this idea that this world just needs to be lived in.
Yeah.
Especially with the ensemble.
Yeah.
And so they wanted the actors to be the actors. Like, something about that really opened up my brain where it was like, oh, you just want me to do it. You just want me to be me.
Yeah.
Like I can play all these roles and I could bring my own self to them and everything, but like you just want me to be on stage and to interact. Like the thing that really always blew my mind when watching the show and getting to do the show the one time was Seasons of Love, where we got to just like go into the audience and then talk to people being ourselves.
Yeah.
Like I got to check in on my friends.
Yeah.
And like my parents.
Yeah.
Just being me, being like, are you having fun? Are you here?
Yeah.
Are you present?
Yeah.
And then you get to just go right back into it and sing that song that is so celebratory of time and love. And yeah, it was just a wonderful opportunity. And you shined in that. The whole group shined in that.
We had so much fun.
I could not, like, I cannot put into words how wonderful it was to get to experience you all in this show. And I hope those listening got to see it, because it was just... I think those sentiments that the directors were pushing were true and landed. In my opinion, I felt like they landed.
Yeah, some nights I felt like they really did.
Of course, I mean, that comes with a show that lasted that long. Like, you get to do it every night, every day. Like, it becomes work.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
It was, especially the last few weeks.
Oh, baby. I bet.
But we got through it. We did the thing. But I Seasons of Love, there was this one moment. I love that song. Rent is one of the shows that I would listen to at the Jacksonville Public Library.
Oh, yeah.
And I would, play that thing out. So it was special to do that song. And there was this one night that we did it where Matthew Edward Kemp, his mother, he played Mark. His mother was in the audience, and she was in the seat that I stand next to during the song. And, oh my gosh, usually Matt and Eliana Pinkney, Temple grad, baddie.
Shout out.
She, they picked somebody, and they picked his mother to, put their phone up to the screen.
Yeah, lovely.
So they did that, and it was time for us to move on. And this lady, she looks at him, and then she's like, well, how do I get off? And Matt, the way he took her phone, turned her clock off and turned her sound down, and it just makes me so emotional, because I did not think about my mom at all, really. I think about her all the time, but I didn't think about her at all, really, during that song, really. But that day, oh my God, just seeing him do that, and her taking her phone, and just kind of like, just the way she was looking at him, there is just nothing like that feeling. And I saw how beautiful and genuine it was, and how that was just a mother and her son, and I lost it that day. I sang my face. But I was I'd sound horribly when I cry, so I couldn't cry. I had to hold it in.
Yeah.
And I just had to use it as a propellant to get to where, that means I had to slow down, I had to calm down, I had to really say what I was saying. And I left backstage, and Bryant just knew. He just grabbed me, and I was just like, oh, and every time I think about that, because it was just so beautiful, I was like, and that's it. I was like, that's what's special about this show. So it's wonderful that you brought up that moment, because I was like, that was the moment where I actually felt that. I also cried during the last time we sang it.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but we were all kind of a mess. But it was, but that particular day, and just his mother and the pride on her face when she saw him up there, killing it. And it was just, and I told him, I gave him a huge hug after that. I just said, that was so beautiful. And you didn't share that necessarily with me, but I just happened to be there. Mm-hmm. And I had to see that. I needed to see that.
Being present. So, yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Cool show. Thank you, Jonathan Larson.
Thank you.
I would love to just pivot a little
Mm-hmm.
because this is a question I like to ask everybody. To me, I feel like it gives, even if I haven't seen it, it gives me everything I need to know for the future and for now of like who you are from like just how you approach things and your humor or that kind of thing.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Sister Act 2.
Boom! So fast. There it is. Right, literally. Because if it's the first thing that come to mind, that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Act 2. I have not seen it.
Oh, Gideon.
I am excited to because I always try to see them after these.
Yes. Listen, before I leave, I would love to watch that movie with you.
Oh, please.
Let's figure that out. You can watch it before me, before we do that.
No, but I would love to. I would love to.
I love that
awesome.
movie.
Please tell.
Sister Act 1 is a hilarious romp through the world.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg got that part on a fluke. Bette Midler was supposed to play that part.
Really?
Yes. Mark Shaman, who is a longtime Bette Midler collaborator, he stayed with the project, so he did all the music for the first one. I'm sorry. There are like a lot of medleys and stuff that they do in it. And Whoopi Goldberg is just this hilarious person. She's a really funny person.
Yep.
And they put her in this absurd situation where this mobster is her boyfriend and she sees him kill somebody and they hide her in a convent. And so it was just an incredible showcase for Whoopi Goldberg's comic timing.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was my first lesson in comedy. If you watch that movie, you will see ways that you find me funny because of the silly shit that she was doing in that film.
Oh, awesome.
Like, so that was that. So already a classic. Plus the music is great.
Yep.
Sister Act 2 is very special because they took the same premise, except Whoopi's not in danger. The character, Sister Mary Clarence, she's not in danger, or Dolores Van Cartier, whatever.
Yeah.
She's a fucking con artist, basically, but it's great. She has now turned her fame from leaving this mobster guy and being hid out in a convent. She's turned it into a Vegas show. She's literally turned it into her bread and butter. So she has this cheesy ass Vegas show.
Whoa.
And she's living it up. And the nuns come back and they're like, can you come back to this high school we're teaching at and teach the kids music? Because you taught it to us and it changed our lives. And she's like, I don't really want to do that, but then the nuns, Maggie Smith, who's a genius.
Yeah.
She says, well, you could have been killed and we saved you. So I actually need you to come do this for us. And she's kind of, wow, that's crazy. So she does it. It's absurd.
That sounds awesome.
She goes to this school in San Francisco, a high school she went to in San Francisco. And she teaches this classroom. This is really funny. She teaches this music class. It's the only music class. These kids are always together. And there are so many questions that you will ask. But you suspend your disbelief because it's a marvel. It's just a 1990s. It came out in 1993. It was a huge blockbuster film.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
But it became a hit because it was just lightning in a bottle. It was just like, why does this work? So you have Lauryn Hill.
Yep.
Incredible vocalist. I mean, was just voted by the Rolling Stone as having the greatest album of all time or something like that.
Really?
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome.
So, we have the beginnings of this person's career where she's just a star. Yep. Wonderful actor. Tanya Blunt, who's the greatest vocalist of all time. She could just sing anything. She's in that group. I don't know if you've heard of them. What is their name? It's her and her husband. They're like a country group now. Oh, they're great. Anyway.
Fern, fact check that.
Editor's note, the band that Tanya Blunt is in with her husband is called The War and Treaty.
Yeah, so she's in the film and she plays Tanya. Her name's a lot of the kids, they have their real names because they didn't even give everybody characters. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Alana Ubach. I don't know if you know who Alana Ubach is. When you see her face, you can be like, oh, yes, she's one of those actors.
Cool.
Ryan Toby from City High hits a whistle note in the film. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The vocalism is incredible. It's just incredible. And Shirley Ralph is in it. She plays Lauryn Hill's mom.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they got lightning in a bottle. They got all these wonderful 90s artists who are at the beginnings of their careers to do this fun movie.
Yeah.
And it's just great. And I've seen it probably a million times, and it still is my favorite. Like, it's just an incredible film. And it also is a cult classic amongst musical theater heads.
Yes.
Because a lot of millennials went into musical theater because of Sister Act 2, but there's no musical in the movie. It's not about a musical. It just randomly. But if you think about it, a lot of that music and the way that Mark Shaman, of course, because Mark Shaman is the writer on it, he created musical moments in that film that are very much like, oh, this is a musical, it's so random. Like, years and years ago, the You Mish Kids, it's an incredible program. They did a fucking like live version of it.
Oh,
just
cool.
like they just did it on their own time, and it was amazing because it's like we were so influenced by that movie.
Yeah.
We all, like, that generation of musical theater students, we were so influenced by Sister Act 2, and it's just one of my favorites. It's such a feel good film.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, wow, you sold it.
Yeah.
You sold it so well. I am so excited to watch that.
You really gotta do it.
Just like a quick tidbit, like, why would you recommend it? Like, I guess, feel good. Like, yeah.
It feels good. It's nostalgic. It's a wonderful glimpse into how, if everybody's just on the same page and wants to do a good job, the script don't gotta be that good. Nothing really has to make sense because we are all here because we love this. And you can tell every single person involved in that film, they were just there because that was the place to be.
Because they trusted it, they
trusted it, and they just let the thing do what it's gonna do. And everybody's having the time of their fucking life. And Maggie Smith is having the time of her life. Kathy Najimy. Like, it's just an amazing showcase of artists that are just... Michael Jeter, who is, an incredible actor, was an incredible actor. He has a showcasey role in it. He's really funny and adorable. It's just a really good movie.
Go watch Sister Act 2.
Please.
Go watch it.
And listen to the soundtrack. It's great.
Yeah. Yay. Well, thank you for sharing, Michael. That's lovely. We absolutely have to set that up because I will
do that.
100% watch that with you.
Yes.
Because now I want to.
Yeah.
Now I feel like that's part of the experience for me, is that I got to experience you also.
Yes, I'm telling you.
With the movie.
We are going to do that. We're going to figure that out.
Awesome. Yay. Speaking of figuring things out, I would love to talk a little bit about what's next. The future. You've lived a life. You've lived a journey.
I've lived a few.
And now you're here. You've graduated from Temple.
Yes.
With your degree.
Yes.
You worked real hard for that degree and you got it, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And you just finished Rent to flying colors, and I would just love to know, and for the people at home, to know what's next for Michael. What's going on? What do you have planned, but what also is desired of your future? Like your artistic expression, what do you want to do? What are still the pies in the sky? What you think you can do next?
Yeah. Well, officially what's next is that I'm moving to the West Coast. I am starting training, my classical actor training. I'm finally really getting it. The University of California, San Diego, legendary La Jolla Playhouse program.
There it is.
One of 8, 2028. That's what we're calling ourselves.
One of 8?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a small cohort.
Yeah, it's always like 8. It's never
cool.
more than 8.
That's awesome.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So
congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
We will miss you over here.
Gosh. Yes, I can't even. It's crazy. Yes, yes, that is what I will be doing, and I will be training to be an actor there amongst master teachers. Including Ursula Meyer, Hillary Ward, who actually went to the program, which is great. She's a new teacher. She gets to start with us.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to be her first foray into teaching acting at that school, which is so exciting.
That's awesome.
She's a wonderful actress. And just Andrea Caban, a voice speech goddess. Like, she's this woman who has written most. If you ever had a book for speech class, it was probably written by her. You know, she's brilliant. She's like one of the go-to dialect artists and voice artists, and she still acts. Yeah, just an incredible program. Me and my cohort getting to know each other over the summer. It's very exciting. And, you know, the pies in the sky are writing material for myself and for my friends while I'm in school.
Awesome.
That's very important to me. I have projects that I've started, and I want to kind of use this time to actually focus and get them and always keep them fine-tuned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, specifically television.
Oh, really?
Episodic stuff, yes.
Ooh.
That's really an arena that I really want to walk into.
That's
I know
awesome.
a lot of MFA actors end up getting their MFA, becoming actors, and then writing plays.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. And that is also a part of my story. But I want to focus a lot on the episodic television stuff that I have.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not something that a lot of people do much anymore.
No, it's also because the industry has changed so much.
It sure has, with streaming and with everything.
Yeah, and I've just read something that they're not hiring staff rooms anymore. The only time you can be a showrunner is if you've had experience being a showrunner, and I'm sure the show had to be successful, so that's not very many people.
No.
And those people are hiring their friends.
They sure are.
You know, that's a hurdle, but I'm curious to know what that's going to be like for me to try to get over that.
That's awesome.
And it's important to write work for yourself. You know, the idea of waiting around for somebody it's you! We've been looking for you! Like,
you're going to Hollywood.
You're going to Hollywood. No, that day is done. So it's very important, especially for people who have training, musical theater training, improv training, all that kind of stuff. If you can do those things and create something for yourself. Nobody is coming to save you. Mm-hmm. Nobody is coming to make you a star. Mm-hmm. You have to do the thing for yourself.
Yes, you do.
And it's been like that for a while. No shade. You know, I started doing cabaret shows, which I still will do. I did another one at my last project at Temple. My senior project was a cabaret that I love so much. I love doing cabaret shows. I'm going to continue to do that and build that and make that like a thing.
It's an art form in itself.
It really is.
Cabaret shows.
It really is. And I've been doing it for a very long time. So it was wonderful to actually get back in there and do that thing. And we had a wonderful time. And I can't wait to do more of that. I also am, you know, going to be a professor. That's something that I've always wanted to do. But most importantly, I think that my life's work, and all of these things are my life's work, but I think the most important thing I want to do is create a foundation to help actors who don't have a foundation to figure out acting. Yeah. You've heard my story. It was very all over the place, haphazard, all this kind of stuff. I would like to create an organization that helps people figure that out. Whether that's housing, because that's the big dream one day. We'll have housing. We will have resources, education, resources. If you want to go to college, you want to learn how to get your degree in this thing, we can help you do that. Financial literacy, all that stuff. I want it to be a one-stop shop for artists of all performing arts. We will start with actors first, but that's just because that's what I know. Yep. But all performing artists to be able to learn how to navigate a career in the performing arts. And everybody doesn't go to college. Everybody doesn't, you know, especially in this climate politically that we have, you know, that might not be something that people want to even do. So I would like to create a nonprofit. Nobody's paying for anything. You are just applying and getting these resources because you deserve to take up space in this world as you are and for what you want to do. And if that is performing arts, you should be able to do that. So those things will work in concert. Me as an actor and a writer and a singer, me as a professor, me as the head of this company, doing this thing always, circling around each other in orbit
Yeah.
with one another because they are one thing. It's all artistry. It's all artistry. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God. That is awesome. That's so exciting. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That nonprofit idea, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. It's going to happen.
It is. And I mean,
Yeah,
Krista Apple is probably the biggest influence there because she helps me figure it out. She gave me at UArts, we were going to continue this. She gave me at UArts an independent study where we just talked about this and figured this out.
Cool.
And just the foundational stuff of it, like, what do you actually want this to be? I did a lot of interviews with a lot of minority kids at UArts, talking to them about their lives and talking to them about the challenges they face, and we are under an administration that is trying to stop people from doing that.
Yep.
But I promise you, all that has done has just relit that fire for me. I don't care if I go to jail. I don't care what happens. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is important in the United States. If you're not going to repair what's done, you will allow people to focus on those things to get the things that they need in this world. And that's just, and if that's the fight of my life, that's the fight of my life. I don't mind.
That is a loyal and valiant fight.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
Period. No problem. Like, first of all, nowadays I don't run away from fights at all. So it's kind of like, if that's what you're trying to do, let's do it, because that will happen. I have to make sure that we can, a little black girl, a little Mexican girl, a little, whatever, queer child or whomever wants to make this thing a reality for themselves.
Yep.
They should have the tools to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1000% agree. I work as a teacher right now. I work at Philly Pack, which is a brilliant children's theater that we do after school programming and shows. And I've been there. I was a student there. I'm a teacher there now. And the thing that has been so rewarding, especially right now in this sort of climate, is that we have so many queer kids.
Yeah.
We have so many trans, queer children that are so comfortable with each other and with the room that we're in. And I teach our youngest group. And so that's like, we're working with first grade, second grade. And they understand like the language and understand each other and are just there to make art. And to be that person for them that gets to like talk them through it and give them the opportunity to speak and share and get to watch them grow through the program, it is like the thing that is getting me through the news cycle. You know what I mean? Like it really is just like, well, they're here.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
Like I can trust that.
Yeah.
And I will protect them for as long as I can. And so it is pivotal more than ever now to give the people that are being pushed down the voices that they need. Hell, that's why I'm doing this podcast. I just want to be able to have platforms, give platforms, share platforms, because that's how art gets made.
Yeah.
And some of the best art will get made right now.
That's right.
And it is, I am more than excited to see you do that.
Yeah.
For people.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's my North Star. I try to just think about that and move toward that every day. I'm always thinking about, like, how do I do that today? How do I get closer to that today? It's been my driving force for this whole undergraduate journey. I just, it's wonderful to discover things about yourself. It's wonderful to have the desire to discover things about yourself.
Yeah.
And art changed my life, and it kept me alive at the end of the day.
Yes.
Even telling that story, that moment where I was like, oh, what are we going to do? Are we going to do the thing? What are we going to do? You know, it was like, it was art. It was that said, you're not done.
Yeah.
You're not done. You have things that you have to do. And not only do you have to do them, you have to set the stage for other people to come behind you and do them too.
Right.
Because that's what it's about. You know, we talk about self-care all the time, child. You know, Audre Lorde, she was not talking about no bubble baths and, you know, getting yourself, she was talking about you have to take care of yourself so that you can then go take care of somebody else. Toni Morrison, same thing. How do you not, you know, become hard? And you got to stop thinking about your little self. That's what she said. And start thinking about what you can do for the collective.
Yeah.
What can you do, you know, for somebody else? Because that's the work that matters.
Yes.
You know, and we live under binaries that, you know, are totally against that. That are highly individualistic and, you know, leave people by the wayside. They're designed to leave many by the wayside so that a few can be held up. And that's some bullshit. So,
Sure is.
You know.
Sure is. Not here for that.
Nope.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah.
I think you touched on it already because I normally ask after this conversation about your opinion on like legacy and you know, wanting to be remembered and what that is to you. And I feel like you touched on it with this, you know, what you want to leave behind and what you want to do with your life now for others.
Yeah.
And so how do you want to be remembered? What does that mean, I guess, to you?
I want people to remember that I care and that I really care. Like, you know, and anything I ever do or have done is from that space. I have had this love affair with humanity for so long. I was victimized for such a long time. I was bullied really badly as a kid. But even then, I was just so curious about it. It was so interesting to me, the ways that we treat other human beings. I even to this day, like, getting into a group dynamic with people, I'm just always in awe of the things that happen. Whether I have an opinion about them being good or bad, it's just interesting the ways that human beings interact with each other. So I want people to walk away from Michael Jahlil and say, oh, he really cared, or he really encouraged me, or they told me something that I hadn't realized about myself, or they showed me a part of myself I didn't really know was there, or I knew was there, but it wasn't until they said it or spoke it into me that I realized it. That's really it. Like, I want everybody, when they leave from being around me, to just be like, huh, you know, that person is very kind.
Yep.
You know, or that person is very thoughtful, or that person is understanding, or that person helped me figure this out, or, you know, they seeded into me, or they poured into me. That's just what I try to do, and with everything I do.
Yep. Yeah.
With everything I do.
And you do it. I know that for a fact. You do that. So good on you.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, Michael. Michael. Just a quick little thing, and it doesn't have to have an answer yet. But as this, you know, as the crux of this project of mine is lived and breathed by this city, and do you find yourselves coming back?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I
kind of circled it a
yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I do end up coming back. I do think my foundation will be housed here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I do think I will. You know, I would love to work at the Arden again. I love the Arden.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, and all those people are so wonderful. Yeah. I mean, and Philly has such a wonderful theater scene.
Yes, it does.
So I would love to come back here and do the thing, you know, if they'll have me.
Oh, they'll have you. Oh, they'll have you. Ah, well, yes. And I think there, Michael, I think that just about wraps up our conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so thank you.
Thank you, Gideon.
I've learned so much about you, and
Yes.
I am in awe of what you've accomplished, and I am proud of you, and I'm excited to see what you do next. I'm sure everyone else listening is as well. Before you go, I got 2 questions.
Yes.
1, I want this, project of mine to keep going, to keep growing. I want to have as many conversations with artists as possible, especially the ones that are here in Philly doing the thing. So I'd love a recommendation. Someone that you think I should talk to.
Oh my goodness. Amina Robinson.
There it is.
She would love to do this. You should really ask her.
I did, I think. And
Yeah.
so we've started the conversation, but it hasn't picked up. So
Yeah, you gotta remind her.
I will.
I think she would love this. She would love this. She would probably tell you like what it's gotta start and what it's gotta end, but
yeah.
she would love it. But she probably wouldn't.
Yeah, who knows?
Amina Robinson. Akeem Davis, one of my favorite people in the whole world.
God, that would be lovely.
He would be perfect to talk to. Mateo Scammell.
Dude is a talented man.
Yeah, and very important in this scene. So
yes,
he would be a good person to talk to. And Elena Camp.
Elena
Please
Camp.
talk to Elena Camp.
The very few moments I got with Elena were some of the brightest moments I had in that room.
Yeah.
She's such a joy.
She's a genius.
She's
a genius. Pick that brain. I want to know. I'm listening because I want to know. Because that is a brain unlike many I've seen. So or heard or been around.
Yeah.
What a joy. A joyful person. I love her. She's so gifted.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent recommendations. Thank you. I will take those.
Yes.
I will take those and I will make them happen. So if you're listening, and if you know these people, share the podcast with them.
Yes.
Send it their way. And with that, where can people find you?
You can find me Michael Jahlil .deux on IG. That's kind of where I'm at mainly. I try not to have a lot of social media.
Yeah.
Just personally, and it's no shade to nobody that does.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
no,
just
for sure.
It's just
To each
for
their own.
me, I can't be doing the social media too much. IG I can do, it's fine.
For sure.
A lot of mouth running and stuff that we be doing on there. Yeah, pretty much. But there will be other things.
There will be other things, and those things I will update you all on. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Is that the best way for people to contact you as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get me on Instagram. You can also themichaeljahlil@gmail.com. Please email me if you want to talk. I like emails. I like reading long emails. I like, So yes, that's themichaeljahlil@gmail.com. Yep.
Lovely. Great. Please follow Michael on their journey. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I will keep you all updated on that the best I can. Thank you, Michael. This was so lovely. I was very, very, very excited for this one. So,
oh my goodness.
It was a joy to do.
Yeah, always a joy with my Gideon.
Yes.
Yay.
And thank you, the listener, for spending some time of your day with us, hearing our stories, and learning a little bit about the people that make this city move. I was your host, Gideon Carroll McDonald. This was another episode of The Philly Phone Book, a podcast archive. Please feel free to share the podcast around with your neighbor, with your friend, with your art makers. Any sort of help is lovely for this project of mine. I just want it to get to ears. So thank you so much for that. You're already helping. And yeah. Thank your SEPTA drivers.
Please do.
Real art is made by real people. And have a great day. There it is.